I was like, it could clip off some weird. If it cut off there, it'd be a bad look. What is up, team? And welcome back to another episode of the Technical Foul Podcast. You're joined by the three of us today. I'm Jack Anderson. To my right is JP Pusilowski, and to my left is Sanders Oakley. How we doing today, boys? How's Poland looking, JP? You nervous?
Yeah, we're down 1-0. 30 minutes left to play.
So much time.
We've had possession in their half, looking for goal for like the entire 15 minutes. So
Yeah. The problem is, at what point does Albania just drop numbers back, park the bus, make it hard to break through? For reference, Poland and Albania are playing in a World Cup qualifier right now. It's basically like a mini 4-team tournament, and the winner qualifies for the World Cup. And this is like the semifinal, even though it's not called that, of the group.
So it's just the first four, basically.
Yeah, kind of. There's like multiple of them around.
Where are the people demanding we expand the World Cup?
It has been expanded.
Well, it needs to be expanded more.
Oh,
68
okay.
teams, 72 team. Actually, how many teams get in the World Cup?
48.
48?
yeah.
Yep. Raised from previous of 32.
Yeah.
So, an all-time high, leading to like countries like Curacao qualifying for the first time. So shout out to them. But how are you doing, Sanders?
I am great. I
Glad to hear
accidentally
it.
slept very late yesterday. Did not mean to. I went to bed the reasonable hour of 11.
Yeah.
Had my alarm set for 7. Was going to go to the gym. Alarm went off. Was like, I'm going to snooze a little bit longer. Turned it off. Woke up at 11. So I
What
accidentally slept for 12 hours, which I was not expecting.
That's a great sleep.
It was. I did have 2 nightmares, both of them involving car crashes,
That's tough.
which was tough. Yeah. I was in 2 car wrecks in my dreams and then woke up and was like,
Were they pre your first wake up or post?
Post my first wake
That's
up.
how
I
it
believe.
always is for me. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna have like a dream that I can actually remember, and that is typically like pretty weird, it's after I've woken up for the first time in the morning and I've like dozed back off.
Yeah.
Which I feel like isn't how that's supposed to work, because I swear I've heard like you have to be in REM sleep
Yeah.
to have a dream. But like if I just now have fallen back asleep,
You just
can I really get back
immediately
into REM sleep?
REM.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know
Have
either.
we equalized? I saw
We
celebrating
did
in the
while I was
corner.
texting.
That's huge.
Lewandowski, what a beautiful header. What a beautiful corner
Just
kick.
owned. Is that did he frame mog the goalie there on that header?
I don't know. We'll see on the replay.
Okay, we'll have to look.
It was over a player. I don't think it was over. The goalie was still
Gotcha.
center net.
We'll see. Hopefully not.
Lewandowski's wearing a face mask, though. Like protective face mask, and he just headed it in.
Yeah, because that
with his
makes
face
so much
mask.
sense.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the face mask is protect from concussions.
Yeah, it's really
So-
probably to protect his nose.
Yeah.
And ideally you don't head the ball off your nose.
If you're wearing that, though, you're invincible, so it's fine.
Yes, true. It's a really weird protective face mask too.
he
it
did
is
kinda
right
frame
over-
Mog. Yeah,
2 people really, the defender and the goalie.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing for them. Not gonna lie.
I mean, the defender just
Kadinga,
Did not box out.
right
yeah,
off the
I mean,
face mask.
He needed to either jump with or actually like try and push Lewandowski out, and
What a
then he just
goal.
got jumped over. You knew it had to be him if they were going to equalize. It was going to be him.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
He is. Well, we're not really here to talk about soccer,
Nope.
as exciting and
Not yet.
fantastic of a sport it is. We will get there in a couple months. We're for
True.
weekly segments, and then MLB
I
preseason.
gotta wear my Tatis
on-
jersey. I'm gonna have to get it
okay.
out.
Go get it while I detail. The MLB preseason, but it's on opening day season preview, where we will go through each division, pick our winners, talk a little about each team, not in depth. I don't know if we have that in us. And then we will pick pennant winners and World Series winners as well. Should be a ton of fun. It's one of our most requested shows ever somehow because, and I say somehow because we literally have done one MLB show before. And it was last year's season preview. So not that we haven't talked about MLB before. As the season goes on, they'll probably show up in some weekly segments throughout the rest of the spring and the summer, players, teams, whatever. But we've only ever done one dedicated MLB show. So I guess the team liked it. The team. I guess it is the team. What's up, team? So yeah, the team liked it. And so we're back for it yet again. crazy you didn't already have that on. Though, I mean, your team is getting just slaughtered by your brother's team. So it's a tough way to start opening day. It's just tough to have to
I
go
was always
against-
going to. I just forgot. It slipped my mind because the show snuck up on me, as it always does.
It's tough to go against Tariq Skubal on opening day.
Yeah.
I really should put the Acuna jersey on the wall. For
Yeah,
this,
I was really
but
surprised.
I'm wearing my Braves World Series champion shirt, so I
Yeah.
think that makes up for it.
Padres don't have one of those.
Hey, maybe one day.
Probably not. Not with the dot. Maybe in, 2 years when the...
Well, aren't you all selling the franchise? So maybe you'll get a really
Well, this
rich
is the
owner.
last MLB season ever. So.
Yeah, this is the last MLB. This
True.
is, I mean, for the people who love this show, like, enjoy it because it is the last one we'll ever do.
This is
Correct.
for all the marbles.
With MLB shutting down next year with the lockout and everything, and it ending. Prepare to learn. I don't know.
Hey, all the players are fine with no salary cap. I wonder
There's
why.
no. Yeah.
They just get more money.
True. True. But only. Yeah. I guess.
We'll see. We'll talk about that if it ever happens, and hopefully it
So
doesn't
much
happen. But it's
money.
gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
So what can you do? The only way it doesn't happen is if the Dodgers suck this year, and even still, it probably
They're not
happens,
gonna
but they're
suck.
not going to.
We'll get to that later, but
We'll
they're
get
not
to that
gonna
later.
suck.
I have a 98% chance to make the playoffs per like Vegas.
A little spoiler: I did like a swing player for every team of like if this player like hits expectations or has like a bounce back year, like. Obviously, other things go wrong, so it doesn't guarantee the team's going to be good, but, like, it would be a huge help for this team's outlook. For the Dodgers, it was, like, it actually doesn't really matter because they're so deep that, like, one player doesn't really swing anything, so it's just, like, stay healthy.
I can't wait to
basically.
hear what player you picked for the Rockies.
I look, you think I left it blank.
Okay.
We'll see if we get
Okay.
there. Because, yeah, the Rockies are horrible. Shall we get into the weekly segments?
Let's do it.
Start with a weekly cock of the walk, and that goes to one Mac McClung of the G League, the Bulls G League affiliate. I think it's the Windy City Bulls is the name of their G League team. He scored 58 points in a G League game a couple nights ago, breaking the G League single game scoring record. He also is the leading,
Held by Kevin Ware, right?
I believe so, yes. And he is,
Not Kevin Ware. No, Kevin Ware's the guy who broke his leg.
yeah, the Louisville player. I don't know who you're talking about then.
He was a Louisville player.
The guy that held the record?
Yes, that was on that team.
Anyway-
I'll find it.
Yeah, please, because I'm curious. Matt McClung now holds the record. I think he also holds the records for highest points per game in his G
Yep,
League
yep.
career, like 24, something like that. He's just a bucket
Bronny's
getter.
at 18. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Saw a tweet
Yeah.
about that.
I did see that tweet as well.
Russ Smith.
Russ Smith. Yeah, I don't know. It was really hard to find a cock of the walk. I'm not trying to diminish Matt McClung's achievement, but most weeks this is probably not making the cut. But congrats to Mac McClung.
I mean,
Maybe
2 weeks ago we had Bam for his, breaking the NBA scoring record. So kind of
Not
appropriate that
technically.
two.
He broke Kobe's.
Oh, excuse me.
but
Excuse
Will,
me. He
you
broke
know,
Kobe's. And then appropriate that 2 weeks later, Mac McClung, who we all figured would be the guy to break the G League record, breaks the G League record. It's kind of one and the same. We all picked Bam Adebayo to break Kobe's record, and then we all had Mac McClung kind of, singled out from the start
Sure.
of the season as the guy who would break this record.
I do believe I saw Kevin Porter Jr. say he now has to go break Bam's
Correct.
record.
In honor of Kobe.
In honor of Kobe, because it's like Bam can't hold that record.
Kevin Porter Jr. said that he.
Yeah.
So why is him that more respectful to Kobe than Bam breaking
Maybe
it?
because he's like a Kobe disciple in his eyes or
I-
something. I have no
yes,
idea.
that
Kevin
is-
Porter
that is
Jr.
kind of the
is also
wordage
just
he
never
used.
doing it.
Yeah.
So
Everybody's a streamer now too.
yeah.
So
Well, okay, we'll get to that. We'll go in and roll into winner or chicken dinner because we'll get to that in a minute potentially. My winner or chicken dinner is very near and dear to my heart, and that is UVA, and more specifically UVA women's basketball team for being the first four team in women's March Madness history to make the second weekend, beating Arizona State in the first four game, and then they beat Georgia in the round of 64, and then toppled Iowa at home, 2-seed Iowa, in the round of 32 to reach the Sweet 16. Big run from them. The women's first four has not been around for a very long time.
Like 4 or 5 years, I think.
Yeah. That doesn't mean they're not the first team to do it. So shout out to them. Big achievement. I'm interested to see if they have any chance against TCU.
Mississippi State had to walk so y'all could run 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We won our first 2 games, the first 4 game, round of 64, and then lost to Notre Dame by 5. So we kind of had to lay the groundwork for y'all
Yeah.
to be able to actually get the job done.
Miami
the
Heat
second
had
weekend.
to walk so the Charlotte Hornets could win the finals this year.
How so?
Miami Heat
Was the 7 seed.
were a play-in team. We're the 8 seed.
Oh,
Yeah,
8
and
seed.
then
Sorry.
Made the finals, lost to the
True.
Nuggets. Now the Hornets can
Are
do the
playing
same.
Crazy the Heat
team.
are just going to be a play-in team for like the 4th year in a row.
Yeah,
But their brethren, the Hawks, may be too good, and the Bulls are
That's
going to
true.
be too bad. So they're going to be all alone in the East play-in, joined by new faces. I wonder how they feel about that. I know Bam doesn't like it. He mentioned that he was getting mad at Coach Spoelstra after Spoelstra pulled from the game. He was asked the game after, and he basically was like, "Well, I don't want to be in the effing play-in." So I was like, "Well, sorry, Coach. Maybe score 83
Would you rather
points
just
again."
not make the playoff, or he'd rather be out of it?
I think
like
he'd
he'd rather be.
I think he'd rather be a 6 seed or higher.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most teams would rather be higher.
Yeah, this is true. On to the rotten egg.
The rotten egg.
And this is what I was talking about a minute ago. This is not the official rotten egg, but I almost went this direction. And it was just player podcasts in general, because they just got to stop. There's a couple good ones, but like for the most part, you're not actually really giving us anything of substance. You just like decided you want to start a podcast to start a podcast. And I mean, I am holding a mic on a podcast right now, but
Yeah.
I'm not an NBA player, so it doesn't apply. Quite
We
the
shouldn't
same.
have podcasts for a different variety of reasons.
Correct. Sure. If you look at the TikTok,
what a save! What a
comments, they would
save! What a
believe that.
save!
What?
Rocket League.
Oh, did we
Yes.
just have a save in soccer?
We just saved what should have been 2-1 Albania.
is your goalie wearing a mask as well?
I think so.
Anyway, the one I saw recently, Derek White. I love Derek White. Former Spur. Was kind of one of the last like good success stories in terms of that era and like drafting some guy late in the draft. I think it was like the 30th overall pick out of Colorado. Ended up being our like kind of breakout player the last year we went to the playoffs. Scored 30 in a game against the Nuggets, and then we traded him away in our rebuild to the Celtics. Nothing but love for Derek White. But he started a podcast a couple months ago, and it starts off as they always do, like, here's what I do in a day, like, here's my game day routine, like, here's how I train, like, I play video games, what are my free time? And then this past week, all of a sudden, Derek White's on his podcast being like, I don't believe the moon landing happened. And it's like, okay, so this is,
He's got a platform.
this is the progression.
He can use it.
Similarly, the Ball brothers have a podcast.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad clip.
And Lonzo Ball basically asks, with your girl, like, how long does it take for you to stop using condoms? And it's like, y'all, you just were like, how? Like, I know you have money, so like, you don't
and
like need to do this.
By the way,
for
it was
money.
like the question was on a card, like we're playing Family Feud. He was like reading
That I didn't
questions off a
realize.
card. Yes, but with the video portion to this podcast.
his brother Leandro said, if it's his girl, first date.
We just,
So-
dude, I look away and we score again.
Let's
What do we-
go. You gotta keep looking away then.
Apparently.
But this is Michael Porter Jr. this offseason. This is why I'm saying, like, player podcasts need to stop, because if it gets to a point where you don't have
Oh
a
my
podcast for any
gosh, what a screamer.
proactive or like constructive, intentional reason,
Mm-hmm.
you're just gonna end up saying something you regret.
Yeah.
Now I think less of Derek White potentially because he didn't think the moon landing happened.
Well, I would, don't let that lower your Don't let that lower your estimation of him.
That's a screamer.
He's entitled to his opinions.
He is entitled to his opinions.
But it is funny
but-
that they ran out of content that fast. They
Mhm.
ran out of material that fast to where it's like, we're gonna play Family Feud and talk about. I mean, that's crazy from the Ball brothers. That is crazy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
notice-
styled like a Family Feud question. It was just like it was on a cue card.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at that point,
I would
I'm
love-
moving on to the next, or you just don't play the game. Also of note, the one Ball brother that's not there is LaMelo, because LaMelo is
Playing in the NBA.
Yeah, playing and still successful. It was LaMelo and LiAngelo, and then some guy I didn't know, one of their friends, I guess. But yeah, but just maybe not. And I hope that if we ever get to the point where like we are no longer being constructive,
Yeah.
that someone just tells us to shut it down. Someone does us a solid and is like, maybe it's time to hang it up if we just kind of lose our touch and lose steam.
Yeah.
And they never really had any steam to start with. My actual rotten egg, however, after that ramble, is the Houston Rockets for blowing a 13-point lead in overtime last night to the Timberwolves. And after a couple minutes in overtime, they were up 13. And the Timberwolves are down 4 starters, either due to injury and they didn't play, or Gobert fouled out in regulation. And then shout out Scott Foster ejects Nas Reed in
Yeah.
overtime for saying he was moving. about disagreeing with a call. But the Timberwolves closed on a 15-0 run to win that game. Rockets have been playing bad ball of late in general, but it's a new record. That's history.
Yeah, it was a 13-0 run followed by a 15-0 run.
Correct. The largest blown lead in overtime in NBA history. So congrats to the Rockets. It was a great watch because also it happens in Target Center.
It was in Minnesota. Target Center, I think, is what it's called.
I know it's Target Field is the Twin Stadium. So then, I'm like, is it also just
it
Target
has
Center?
been called Target Center
Or
at
am
some
I just
point.
making it up? Okay.
So I don't know if it still is.
We'll roll with it as Target Center. But the crowd's going crazy. At the end of the game, they're chanting like, "Nice try, Scott Foster," but we still won. Stuff like that. And it's an all-time
How do you
moment.
chant that?
I don't know. Because that's also not exactly what they said is
Oh,
the
okay.
problem. But
Okay.
it was something along those lines of like,
That's a long chant. That would
Yeah.
take like European soccer levels of coordination.
maybe they have it like
we
that.
need some of those, like in college football. That should just be a thing already.
I agree.
True.
That wraps
Um,
up the weekly segments, though.
It does.
Now we can get to the MLB preview. And yeah, sorry, Janovison003. I know you're a Cubs fan.
Not going well.
Not a good start. The Nationals are taking them down on opening day.
Better or worse than? Well, are they dismantling them like the Tigers or the Padres?
Can we get a score check, Creed?
Because as a Padres fan, I'm grateful that I am now doing this show and not watching the rest of that game.
Fair.
8-0 in the top of the fifth for the Tigers and Padres. At least y'all are not watching y'all's team get dismantled right now. The benefit of not playing on opening day.
Yeah, and we don't want to have the stupid off day right after as well, which I guess is nice. Where like you play Thursday and then you don't play Friday.
Yeah.
But it still feels weird to not be playing on opening day. It feels wrong.
10-4. They lost
Tough.
10-4. But
Get them tomorrow. There's 161 games left. No
facts.
reason to panic.
Facts.
We're just gonna go through division by division, though. We're briefly touch on each team, and then pick division winners. Not gonna dwell crazy long on any particular team. Some teams will be longer than others. I imagine, for example, the Rockies will be a pretty short conversation.
I don't know. I might pick them to win the NL West.
I will recommend that you seek admittance into an insane asylum if you truly pick that and truly believe that, because your brain is not logical.
It's
at that
good
point.
value. They're plus 30,000 to win the NL West, so it's great value.
I just don't think that's great value.
The next
I think they have
worst,
the lowest projected win total of any team.
they do. So they're plus 30,000 to win their division. The next worst is plus 3,000.
Is that the Nationals?
Let me go back and
No, it's the
find
White
it.
Sox probably.
That's only like a 10% difference. Like it's not that big.
30,000 to plus 30,000 to plus 3,000 is only
Pretty
10%.
sure it's like a 10% difference.
Angels are plus 2,700.
I mean, at a point, the odds are big. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
excuse
they
me. The
just stay
Nationals
big.
are plus 8,000. So I was wrong.
So I was right on the team, wrong on the number.
You were. I was wrong on the number. So you were correct about the team. But with that being said, do we want to dive into the?
Yeah, and we're going to start in the AL East and work through our AL teams, going east to west, and then get to the National League and do the exact same thing, working through those east to west. And with each division, I have the Steamer projections written down for win totals, and so it'll just go from highest Steamer projection in terms of wins to lowest. And the highest in the AL East is the Yankees, who last year went 94-68, and their record projection for this season is 88-74.
So expect to take a step back.
I mean, in general, the projections are typically a little more conservative.
Yeah.
So like most teams, unless you're really bad, but like if you won your division, even if you're projected to win your division again, your projected number is probably just a little bit lower. It's just kind of how the nature of the Steamer goes. I guess it's just a bit of a more conservative model, or however they do it. Bit of a run it back off season from them. Re-signed
Absolutely.
Coney Bellinger. Re-signed Trent Grisham. The pitching staff is still largely the same, headlined by Garrett Cole. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Max Fried is still there. He pitched last night in their Netflix game against
The Giants.
the Giants and was great. Doesn't surprise me at all. Cam Schlittler is kind of their hot new pitcher as well, they hope. I mean, he made his name in the playoffs against the Red Sox, and they hope, kind of given a full season, he can replicate some of that magic, at least to some extent. Should be a pretty good rotation. Then lineup-wise, they led MLB in runs scored last season, actually, which I did not know. And that's kind of where the run-it-back philosophy comes from, I'd imagine, of like, we have Aaron Judge still. Just bring back Bellinger, bring back Trent Grisham. Ben Rice is a pretty good hitter. What can Anthony Volpe give us when he gets back healthy? He's on the IL right now. It's a good team. There's a reason I think this team is projected. Like, I have no qualms with the win projection. What are the odds that they win the
They're
division?
plus 175 to win the division.
Okay. Cool. I don't have tons of reference for that, but that seems pretty fair. They are in a good division. That being said, and while I do think this is a really good team, this is probably going to be one of the most contested divisions, and the win totals as we go down the line will kind of mirror that as well. The Rays are 5th in terms of projected record, and they're at 81 and 81.
Yeah, plus 2,000 from the Rays. Which I believe other divisions, their last place, projected last place, is going to be less likely to win. So the gap from 1st to 5th is smallest in the AL East. So you're right about that.
Yeah. The fact that no team is projected to be below 500 is crazy. I would bet a large sum of money on it if I did bet that a team would end up finishing below 500. Just at some point, you play enough games against your division, one of the teams is probably going to drop, and at some point, sell at the trade deadline or something and falter down the stretch. Anything else on this team? Key players?
It's just going to be a very similar storyline to like what NFL quarterbacks deal with, like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Of is Aaron Judge going to do it in the postseason?
Yeah.
When we get there, and so it feels like the season doesn't matter.
They won last night, but he had 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And so everything today is like Aaron Judge when he's not playing, when he's on national TV, and some dog shaking really violently or something like that. It's a good point. This team at this point, winning the division would be nice, but if they lose in the playoffs yet again before the World Series, it'll be just yet another disappointing season, and fans will yet again just be unhappy and, maybe even call for a managerial change or something like that,
Kinda
or at
like,
least shake up the roster a good bit.
It's like the Penn State of college football, right? Where you have all this regular season success, and Oregon is in the early phases of that. But like regular season success after regular season success, Penn State is consistently top 10, top 8, top 4 team, and eventually they just got sick of not being able to do anything after that.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where the Yankees are. I know one of my friends who was pissed at Aaron Judge after last World Series 2 years ago, losing to the Dodgers, and it's kind of that same frustration, I'm sure, for most Yankee fans is, all right, let's prove it in the postseason, because the regular season is just kind of going through the motions at this point.
Fortunately, Aaron Judge doesn't have that in him. It's been well documented and established at this point. I even like looking at the World Baseball Classic.
Yep.
Next team in terms of win projection is the Red Sox. They went 89 and 73 last year, and Steamer's record projection for them this season is 86 and 76. So right around the same mark. Had a bit more kind of shuffling of deck chairs than the Yankees did. Alex Bregman is gone, but they traded for Ranger Suarez and Wilson Contreras and Caleb Durbin to kind of maybe offset. Sonny Gray's going to be in the starting rotation, but Wilson Contreras and Caleb Durbin can maybe offset some of that hitting that's out the door. And they also signed Ranger Suarez to pitch for them as well. So a couple good moves there. The rotation should be pretty good. Garrett Crochet is still there. He's the headliner. He's the ace. Like I said, Sonny Gray is going to slot in as well as Ranger Suarez. So a couple big additions there to help round out the rotation. And then the lineup is... What are y'all's thoughts on the lineup? I'll start there before I give my thoughts.
I'm more interested in the pitching staff,
Sure.
but I don't want to get into that because they've got some interesting minor league guys that might make more appearances.
We can start
this
there,
season.
and then we can get over to the lineup because I was just talking about the rotation.
Yeah, let's start with the rotation. So they've got 2 top 100 prospects who both saw major league playing time last year. Peyton Tolle, Tolle, or Toll, I'm not sure, and then Connolly Early. So I'll be interested to see if both those guys can kind of step up and contribute as the season goes on.
Yeah,
I think that'll be. You talk about your swings for each team. I think that's going to be a big part for them. Is how much do these guys who both already have major league experience, who are in the minors right now, or at least as of when I did my research this morning. That could change because it's opening day and teams are still figuring that out. But how much do those guys contribute as the season goes on is what I'll be interested in seeing.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, it's a double-edged, not a double-edged sword, but like ideally, the current guys you have in the back of the rotation, a Brian Bayo or someone of that nature, pitches well enough you don't necessarily need those guys. But then also hopefully those guys just pitch well enough that they force your hand to make you call them up. Because at that point, I mean, that's kind of the good problem to have. And realistically, at some point, somebody's going to get hurt.
Yep.
So it's a great point. I think their lineup's pretty deep. I don't necessarily know if they have like the elite bat. Roman Anthony is supposed to be that, right? But it was his rookie season last year. He dealt with some injuries. It's going to be his first full season.
Yeah.
And so he's a fantastic player, but it is like, that's a high expectation and a bit of a burden to be like, can you come in and be our best hitter right away and be like the truly elite bat? Because like down the list, Wilson Contreras, pretty good power bat, solid player. Caleb Durbin hit really well last season, but kind of was out of nowhere. Don't know if you expect him to replicate that. And even hitting well, it wasn't like at a superstar level. Trevor Story's getting older, struggles to stay healthy, is about a league average hitter, a little above league average hitter at this point. Jaron Duran, good hitter, but yet again, not great. So like I'm going down this lineup, a lot of good hitters, and that's not a necessarily bad thing to have. But like say Roman Anthony doesn't really take a step forward and just like another pretty good hitter, I don't think it's like a very feared lineup, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but you can still do some, like if you've got a bunch of guys who are average and a couple guys who are slightly above average, you can get a lot of stuff done without a Shohei Ohtani or a Manny Machado or like one of the elite guys.
Sure, but this is yet another team that I think has aspirations just besides making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they've made it multiple years in a row. They want to actually go get something done. And so like when push comes to shove, how much are you trusting some of these guys in a playoff series to like consistently get hits? And when, you're facing consistently just great pitching in the playoffs, like can you still deliver? It's a bit of a question.
I think Jack's got a good point. It's something about the Blue Jays last year. Like they were scrappy 1 through 9, but they still had a bat to go to every single day, and that was Vladdy. And then even Bo Bichette when he finally came back.
And Springer was fantastic last year too, especially in the playoffs. And so, I mean, who knows? Like all it takes is Roman Anthony taking that step forward, and then say just like Caleb Durbin repeats his success from last season, and like the outlook really changed. It's really more of like a nitpick for me than like I don't think this lineup is good, if that makes sense. Because it is. There's a lot of good hitters in this lineup. I just don't think it's great. Anything else on this team, or I'll keep it rolling?
Nope, keep moving.
I do want to see, because like Chapman, like he's been the closer for our entire lifetime. Finally, like kind of like returned to that true closing status last year with 32 saves. Just it's fun that he's still pitching. For a guy who will occasionally play MLB The Show, once or so a season. You always trade for Chapman and make him your closer.
Sure.
Just want to see if he can continue on what he had last year.
Yeah, that's a good point. Closely behind the Red Sox in terms of 2026 projection is the Blue Jays, who went 94-68 last season, and their 2026 record projection is 85-77. Biggest offseason move they made was they signed Dylan Cease on the largest free agent deal in club history. It was like 7 years, maybe $200 million or something like that. I should have written down the exact terms so I could just totally airballed that. I hope I at least hit rim in terms of being close. Maybe I got the year right and not the number right. But regardless, they brought in him. They brought in Cody Ponce from the Korean baseball organization. He's a starting pitcher.
7 years, $210 million.
Okay, I didn't swish it.
What
but
did
that rattled
what did you say?
7 years, $200 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically perfect.
And then they also signed
Very
Kazuma
precise.
Okamoto.
Or very accurate.
Thank you. That's kind of more their off season. They're bringing back a lot of their bats. You mentioned Vlad. We mentioned George Springer. Alejandro Kirk, their catcher / DH, is still around. Should be a pretty good hitting team. And then rotation wise, Dylan Cease and Kevin Gausman are the headliners. Anything on this team?
I really like Dylan Cease.
Yeah,
I really
it's
like
a good
him.
pickup.
He was Padre.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Yep, he was. The thing I'll say is losing Bo Bichette
That is true. Yeah.
is tough because now Andre Jimenez.
Jimenez.
That's how I would have said that. Is your shortstop, which right now I don't think he's not gonna play to the same level. I don't think
It's
that
kind
Bo
of been a
Bichette
career second baseman.
Yeah, that Bo Bichette played at, especially like you said when he came back in the playoffs and played well. So it's kind of like, is this team better than last year's team? Because they were in the World Series last year. They were a super fun story and go to Game 7 with the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So is this team? Because I don't think the Dodgers are worse than last year. And so did this team get better enough to beat them or to beat
Yeah.
to try to get there again? Can they make that run again?
It's a fair point because the lineup definitely looks a little worse with
Mhm.
that loss. Santander is expected to miss a lot of the season. I don't know much about Kazuma Okamoto. He's coming in. He's projected to start at third base for them.
Yeah, 29-year-old rookie.
So, maybe he just is a revelation and he fills a lot of that role and a lot of that Bo Bichette production.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's probably one of his higher percentile outcomes. That's pretty close to his ceiling, and so just not very likely. My swing player for this team is Trey. I always it looks like Savage.
Yeah. I have
but
him
it's
in my
like
notes.
Yesavage or something like that. Didn't pitch a ton last year, but when he did, he showcased nasty stuff, and he's gonna get a chance to pitch to start this whole season. This is his first season full runway. How does that go for him? How does that go for the team? Can he hone in that nasty stuff? Can he pitch a full season and not become fatigued? Because you see it a ton for and teams will even do stuff to work around it of okay, we're in August and now he's gonna get sent down, not because he's hurt, but we just wanted to have a break for a start, or we'll push his start back a day to get him a little extra time, or yeah, he's pitching pretty well, but we're only gonna have him throw 5 innings. Can he stay in good shape? Can he stay healthy? Can he not lose his stuff throughout the season? Because if it's a huge arm and just a super talented arm, and if he can hone it in and live up to that potential, then suddenly you have a big potential 3-headed monster if and when he joins the rotation.
Yeah.
So
he's starting the year on IL.
Correct.
Only the 15-day though.
Mm-hmm.
But he
it
was
is shoulder, which is scary.
Yeah.
Because that was always what does that mean?
He was one of the coolest stories though
Yeah.
of last year's postseason.
Yeah, so in terms of healthy season, it's a bad start then. I
Yep.
missed that he's on the IL. It's a bad start in terms of first full healthy season, but hopefully he bounces back quick because that's a very live arm that they have.
Another guy that I have highlighted, Mississippi State commit JoJo Parker.
Oh.
Is the number 45 player in the minor league top 100 or whatever that list
Did he
is called.
just get drafted?
Yes, he's a
Dang,
rookie.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and he's already number 45. He was the number 8 overall pick. I highlighted him because he's a top 50 prospect right now, but also he's a Mississippi State commit who went out of high school.
Yeah.
So I had to give him a shout as a state podcast.
His brother's Justin, right?
Jacob Parker.
Not Justin.
Justin Parker's our coach,
Yeah,
so that's that's where the Justin Parker in your brain came from. But Jacob Parker, I low key really hope that JoJo gets to play because Jacob is having such a fantastic freshman season at State. It'd be really cool to see JoJo go ahead and do something just there could be a competition of
I feel odds got to be small though. He just got
Yeah.
drafted out of high school, right?
Correct.
He's
The
probably a
odds
couple
the
years
odds
away.
are minuscule. This is coming from someone who just
Sure.
as a fun story. I would or maybe he lights up the minor league levels because that would be really
Yeah.
funny to have they're twin brothers, and so one brother's tearing up college and one of them's tearing up the minor leagues. That would be a super cool story. But just hope that he has success this season. I doubt that he'll make a huge impact, but like I said, the shortstop position for the Blue Jays is probably one of the weakest positions on the team right now.
You're on all-time GOAT trajectory if you get drafted as a high schooler and immediately start playing.
Yeah, the crazier things have happened.
That may be the craziest.
No, not the craziest. But yeah, other stuff about we haven't been picking team over unders.
We have not. We may just scrap that at this point and just pick division winners.
That's fine.
If you do have a team and you're I feel really strongly about this over under, you can give it a special shout, but we just don't have to go team by team on that front.
I mean, I'm hammering the Dodgers over, but we can get to that later.
Sure. That brings us to the fourth team in the division in terms of record projection. The Orioles, who went 75-87 last year, and this season are projected to bounce back a little bit. The record projection is 84-78. Because of kind of a bit of a step back and disappointing 2025, they went out and kind of, mixed up the team mixed up the pieces. They traded for Shane Baz. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He legitimately has past 4 seasons not had a fully healthy season. Traded for Taylor Ward and signed Chris Bassett to shore up the rotation. And then kind of their biggest move, I'd argue, is signing former Mets slugger Pete Alonso to the squad. I believe it was the Mets' all-time home run record. It's like a legit power bat to shore up that lineup.
Yeah, the polar bear.
Mm-hmm. The rotation is maybe – I don't think it's the greatest. It's better than last year. They still have some young prospects that, maybe could step up and shore it up. But, at the top you have Trevor Rogers and Kyle Bradish, who – Trevor Rogers was fantastic last season. I'm a little worried about his ability to repeat it, though. As I'm talking, pretty sure he pitched 6 or 7 scoreless innings today. Behind them, it's like they're fine pieces, but it's just not the flashiest rotation. So maybe I'm getting, there's no sparkle, and so I'm underrating it, and that probably is the case. But maybe I would have liked to see a better piece there. Y'all's thoughts on the rotation?
Yeah, the rotation was supposed to be a problem going to last season, right?
Yeah.
And I ignored it and picked them to win the AL East, and they disappointed me. And now I feel like it's expected to be a problem yet again going into this season. And even if it is better than last year, is it better enough?
Yeah. It's going to be better, assuming Chris Bassett and Shane Baz stay healthy.
Yeah.
And the odds are that Shane Baz doesn't stay healthy, right?
Yeah.
JP is eagerly awaiting the
ref
the
gonna
final
blow,
whistle.
man. We're 2 minutes. Okay, finally.
Congrats.
Sheesh.
Big win.
Had to
We're
sweat
2
it
minutes
out.
past stoppage time. We haven't blown yet.
The lineup, I like the look of the lineup. The Alonso piece really transforms it in my eyes. Gunnar Henderson's still there.
Yep.
Taylor Ward can slot in. It looks like he's going to bat leadoff. I'm hoping Adley Rutschman can bounce back a little bit. He's been good, but he was maybe supposed to be the best catcher in the MLB, and I don't think he's really quite lived up to that. He was a top prospect. He might have been the number 1 overall prospect when he debuted.
I believe he was
top 10.
He was fantastic in college, and I feel like it took him a little bit longer. I can't remember how long he's been in the majors, but he was drafted he was drafted in 2018, 2019. And so he spent several years in the minors.
2019, I think.
So I would say it kind of took him a while to get here, and last year was not his best year, I don't believe. I think the year before that was a better year.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need him to have a bounce back season. You need, Jackson Holiday to have not a bounce back season, but a breakout season.
Well, he's starting the season on the injured list.
Correct. Well, they've got several guys on the injured list. Jackson Holiday's on the injured list. You need him to get healthy and then play the number 1. He was the number 1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm. Number 1 overall Yeah.
Number 1 overall pick, and
Yeah.
you need him to kind of play like the number 1 overall pick, or play like the number 1 overall pick, and he's just young. So you're like, oh, okay, so we see the flashes. They're there. You need to see something from him and have him play well. Jordan Westberg's on IL. You need him to come back healthy and play well. State guy. Shout out Mississippi State. Mississippi State legend Jordan Westberg. Not just a commit, but an actual attendee. And College World
Champion, I think.
Series champion, I believe. I'm pretty sure he was on that team. But I'm not positive. They kind of run together.
And even just aside from Holiday, who's hurt right now, the back end of the lineup is just a lot of younger guys. Colton Cowser, Blaze Alexander. So, how do they step up? How do they take advantage of, kind of getting their first real chance?
Yeah.
Or their second year as, kind of a guy. Because if they don't progress and they don't kind of live up to their high prospect billing, the lineup really falls off.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bit of a swing with this team, is how do the young guys perform? And it's really been the biggest question for them the past couple years. And there's been varying degrees of success on that front in terms of, you're never going to have a 100% hit rate. But I think they would have liked a little better of a hit rate up to this point, especially on the pitching side, realistically, not just the hitters.
I feel like this might be this could be one of the most fun teams if it works out, just because, if every player works out, like you could say about a lot of teams, but they have so many intriguing names and intriguing guys with Gunnar Henderson, Pete Alonso, Adley Rutschman, with, like I said, Jackson Holiday, Jordan Westberg. That's 5 guys who are, if they're playing at their best, like really fun bats and really fun defenders. So if everything works out, which that's not going to happen, but I'm an optimist. That could be really fun to watch. So they will be an interesting team to see, and we will find out if I'm going to pick them to win the AL East back-to-back years in a few minutes. But not yet.
Anything on the Orioles, JP? Should I move on to the
Rushman's
Rays?
batting. Sorry, no. He is. He's got 2 hits. He's 2 for 4. He's 500 this season, so he's on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Bounce back season already.
That's crazy. Shout out him.
No, I have no thoughts on the Orioles. To be honest, I do think the Pete Alonso signing is kind of a nothing burger. I don't think it's going to make that much of an impact this year for them. I don't.
You just don't.
And that is a little bit of me being a Mets hater.
Yeah, I mean, I'm anti Pete Alonso as well.
I won't lie, but I just don't think it will make as much of an impact on either side, the Mets side or the Orioles side.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets did a pretty good job of replacing him.
I'll also say the top 10 minor league prospect catcher / first baseman, Samuel Basallo.
Yeah. Another one of those young guys.
If you're a Pete Alonso hater, maybe he comes in and plays. I really don't know. Yeah, it's kind of tough. It's like when I play Road to the Show, I only play shortstop, but I had MLB 2019, I think, which had Tatis at shortstop, and I always want to play shortstop, and so I just never got out of the minors. That's kind of how I feel like he's literally playing 2 of the worst positions. He's listed as a catcher / first baseman, and you've got Adley Rutschman and Pete Alonso at catcher and first base. So it's kind of like
I'm sliding to the DH spot in this theoretical lineup.
That is true. But
at some point you hit enough, they're going to find a spot for you.
It is weird having these guys who were listed as minor league prospects a couple hours ago, and they're listed on projected lineups. It's like,
well, I mean, you're also still a prospect even if you're in the majors until you play a certain number of games.
Oh, how many games is it?
I think it's 60.
Oh, shoot.
No, I think it's 60 innings pitched.
I hadn't ever thought about what the cutoff is.
Because technically people that played in the majors last year can still be going into their rookie season if they didn't play enough games. So
is it 60 total games or 60 in a season?
I mean, it's like 60 days if you're called for 60 days or something like that. But I could just be off. I don't remember what the cutoff is anymore, to be honest. But yeah, it is.
My brain would immediately go to how can I scam this? Like not actually, but there's just got to be so many there has to be a lot of weird situations where players have been called up for 50 days and then sent back down, and so they play for a long time, but they're still rookies.
Yeah, I mean the opposite of what they'll do is you just call them. This doesn't preserve their rookie status. But if you just wait till after April to call them up, you get an extra year of service time. Which is kind of interesting. On to the Rays, though. Went 77-85 last season, and their 2026 projection is a flat 500, 81-81. Not much in terms of offseason moves. I mean, they traded for Gavin Lux. They signed Steven Matz for some pitching depth, which is the Rays. So I'm not surprised that they didn't make splashy moves, because when do they make splashy moves? But I'm pretty low on this Rays team, to be honest, and I think there's good reason to be. I think kind of their little run is over. Now, I trust their front office enough that I think they'll put together some competent squads. But this team was legitimately very good, some 90-win seasons, stuff like that, really competing in the AL East, and I don't see that this season. Rotation-wise, Drew Rasmussen is the headliner in a way, coming off his first full season in 3 years, and he was great last year. And then Shane McClanahan is kind of the other big name behind him. I mean, Steven Matz is there. I have learned to trust Rays pitching and trust their development. So I'm sure they're going to put out some good pitchers. I mean, I've got a lot of experience with Steven Matz as a Braves fan, and he pitched for the Mets for a while. And then aside from that, their lineup. Junior Caminero is their hitting star, I would say. 46 homers last season, his first full year in the majors. They signed Cedric Mullins. Yandy Diaz is still there. But it's just yet again, not a deep Rays lineup. The bottom of the lineup is probably going to be a lot of singles and Chandler Simpson of their team that's probably going to try and play a lot of small ball, steal some bases, maybe bunt some. And they had Jake Mangum last season, kind of like the Jake Mangum mold, some of those guys. But y'all saw some of these teams. Y'all see them really.
They made a lot of moves in the outfield. They brought in 3 new outfielders and they ship off Jake Mangum to the Pirates. But I was just like looking at their lineup. The majority, the top of their lineup is all their infielders, which I feel like is not necessarily standard. And I feel like, so I'm wondering, like, their outfield is just going to be weaker offensively, which maybe that's where the moves came from, is trying to find some guys, some prospects, like you said, some guys to develop, talent identification, that they're trying to do that, to go to other guys' systems and, pull guys they like, other team systems and pull guys they like. That might be what's going on, but that's just something to kind of keep your eye on, is who ends up being the go-tos in that outfield, and can someone step up outside of Ryan Velarde? Velarde? Man, so many.
No idea.
Yeah, that's we're going to run with that. Outside of him, like, what kind of bat's going to step up in the outfield? That'll be something I'm interested to see, because they lost Jake Mangum. He could get on base. Mississippi State legend. Has that now 3 of the first 5 teams we mentioned have Mississippi State legends, or not? They don't, because they moved on for him.
We'll get to the A&M ones later. But I think that is 3 of the first 5.
You got one of the top. I think he's a top 10 prospect.
Braden Montgomery.
Yeah.
Maybe he will get mentioned.
Top 20. He's
I
up
think
there.
He's top 20. He should debut this season, so I'm excited for that.
Do we want to pick the AL East?
Yeah.
Or
I'll
do
start.
you have anything on
the only thing I was going to say is really just casual fan take. I really like Junior
He's
Caminero.
fun.
He's really fun.
He's really fun.
And Chandler Simpson is an MLB The Show GOAT, because he has 99 speed, 99 steal, so he's your pinch runner guy.
He plays like that in real life, too, of kind of the cheesy MLB The Show player.
Yeah.
I think he hit his first professional home run like the other week or something in spring training. I was like, wow, this is crazy. He's projected for 2 home runs on this season. It doesn't count as like his MLB stat totals, but he is playing at the professional level, so it's like his first professional home run, if that makes sense.
I just feel like that's practice. So, like, why would you be like, oh, he hit his first home run in practice?
It's a real game. They record
I guess.
I mean, the Braves were the spring training champions. So
we have spring training champions now?
Yeah,
We
you
won
do
the
in the
Grapefruit
Summer
League.
League in the NBA.
Yeah. It means a lot, man.
It does mean a lot.
It's really fun winning it in 2K. Like, it's a pretty rewarding feeling.
Yeah.
Because also it's just like single elimination, like the way they do it in 2K. So you got to go through this massive bracket. It's tough, man.
Okay. What were you saying, JP?
I was just going to say those 2 things.
Okay.
I like Junior, and Chandler Simpson is an MLB The Show GOAT.
I'm going to take the Yankees to win the division. I don't feel fantastic about it. I think it's just, look at the win total projections. Yet again, it's a tightly contested division. But they are kind of regular season warriors, and I trust them to yet again do that, and I won't pick them to win anything in the postseason. But
I'm going to take the Yanks as well. I think this is a team that might, while they were kind of conservative in a way this offseason, they did bring back Bellinger, which is important. I do think, even with the addition of Garrett Cole this year, which, of course, they hope he returns to some kind of form before, I think they're going to be buyers at the deadline and make some kind of big move, because I don't think they're going to put up with not winning a championship, especially not winning a pennant, I guess I'd say. Winning the AL pennant, that is. So I think they'll be buyers at the deadline, but I do think they win the division.
sure.
I will not be picking the Yankees,
Good.
and so I have to now decide. I'm going either Blue Jays or Orioles.
You're just a big bird guy.
Apparently, yeah. Picking the 2 bird teams in the AL East. I'm going to run it back with the Orioles.
Okay. Good luck.
I picked them last year, and they very, very sorely disappointed me, but I'm going to bet on y'all again this year. I'm going to bet on the pitching staff improvement. I'm going to bet on healthy Jackson Holliday and Jordan Westberg, and I'm going to bet on good seasons from the rest of those guys in the lineup that we talked about. So I will be going Orioles back-to-back.
Bet. Let's move on to the AL Central and maybe speed it up a little bit. We are not on very good pace right now. So, for example, bad teams may just start getting talked about less, but we will see. Sometimes we claim we're going to speed it up, and that just doesn't happen. I guess
True.
is what I'm saying. The AL Central is headlined by the Detroit Tigers, who just beat up on Sanders, or are beating up on Sanders Padres right now as we speak. They went 87-75 last season, collapsed down the stretch to not win the division, and their 2026 projection is 84-78. Their offseason moves: they signed Framber Valdez, Justin Verlander, and Drew Anderson. I'd argue the biggest of those three is the Framber Valdez signing. Kind of a tumultuous end of his career with the Astros, but he's a good pitcher, and he's looked really good in spring training and is going to try and look to shore up that rotation behind a top two pitcher in the MLB and Tariq Skubal. So kind of, with Skubal, you really just kind of need to fill it in behind him, and I think he's a good piece for that. Any thoughts on the rotation?
I think it's fun that Verlander's back, and then one you didn't mention, Kenley Jansen.
Yeah.
Not that he is, as goated as he was at 38 years old. It is fun to see a playoff performer on a potentially playoff roster.
Yeah. It's still a good piece, even if he is not what he was.
Is Verlander still... He's expected to start?
He's listed fourth in the rotation right now.
That's crazy.
At 43 years young.
It feels like a ride off into the sunset, and also someone
but
that there's just...
wasn't his ride off into the sunset like 2 years ago when he for his second?
But this is
is
like
his
the true
third
one
stint.
because he's back.
But he's already been back, hasn't he?
He's back.
He's already left and come back to the Detroit once, right?
Well, then he went back to the Astros, right?
He did not go back.
This is
his first time back to
on
Detroit.
The Mets,
Is it actually?
and the
He's
Mets
gone
went
back
bad,
to Houston.
and then went back to
Maybe
Houston.
that's what it was.
Also, just don't see him getting through a full season healthy. Personally, at the ripe age of 43, Casey Mize is a good rotation. I like this rotation a lot. A little less bullish on the lineup. I don't think it's bad, but in terms of like some of the other true contender lineups, I think it's a little weak. Riley Green is the team's best hitter, arguably, though Kevin McGonigal is now 2 for 2 today. Which will. Sanders, you have stuff on him because you were talking about him earlier.
No, just
their top prospect.
Yes, the number 2 prospect in the MLB, shortstop, Kevin McGonigal. I just thought it was funny. His last name was McGonigal.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool last name. Not one you see very often. I just think Harry Potter, obviously, who doesn't. He's my swing player, and that's like if he is legit and he lives up to that number 2 prospect billing and can play like that the whole season, is a huge boost to this lineup with guys like Kerry Carpenter and others. I don't think. Does they re-signing Kyle Finnegan? Or
it looks like it.
Cool.
Yes, I'll double check it.
Yes, yeah, re-signing Kyle Finnegan. We have a Tigers fan in the chat. He's a long reliever, or is he like? Is he closing for y'all, Harris? Surely he's not closing. If so, he's made money moves since his time with the Nationals.
Yeah, another thing to watch for the Tigers is another minor league prospect, Max Clark, an outfielder. I feel like what kind of defined the Tigers offseason was like doubling down on we're just going to like hold teams to a few runs and outscore you. Like we're going to win games like 3-2, 4-3. Like because they made almost zero offensive moves. As a matter of fact, and I don't have any listed in my notes. Maybe I missed one, but they didn't really make any big offensive moves to the
Well, yeah. Here's the problem with the Tigers, and it's that they're still a young team, and so you have the school of thought of like, let's let some of the young guys play, and if it's still like if we don't really take a step this season, maybe we spin next off season. The issue is Tariq Skubal is very likely about to leave. And so then it's like, hey, well, when we have this once in a lifetime generational pitcher, should we maybe have pushed the chips, all in a little more this season? But also they could wait till the trade deadline to do that. It's just kind of interesting to see how it goes. Max Clark is the pitcher that, or the guy that got flack for wearing all the chains in the outfield, the diamond chains, when he's not done anything yet, which is
and had multiple errors,
just
I believe.
Old man young at cloud type stuff, honestly.
From fans, you mean?
Well, yeah, just if he's going to wear a lot of chains, that's whatever.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that and then be bad, which there were a lot of lowlights of him, I kind of get the critique.
I mean, but there were critiques before he was goofing plays.
What I will say
I want my players to have a little swag. confidence really matters in baseball.
Yeah, but it's only confidence if you back it up and play well.
I'm just saying he's the number 10 overall prospect for a reason.
True.
A couple errors is not gonna sway that in one game.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say, I like what you said about them making moves at the deadline because that gives you a lot of options, right? You can figure out A, do we have a good team? B, do we have a team that's only one piece away or two pieces away? It gives you the opportunity to let those young guys play out the first part of the season, and then you identify which of them is like ready to contribute now, and like actually be a part of a really winning team.
Go ahead.
And then you can go out at the trade deadline and go get the pieces or two you think are missing, or it all falls apart and you ship off Skubal at the deadline. And
yeah, the only scary thing is like sometimes it's a little restrictive what you can do at the trade deadline in terms of like who's available and whatnot. Like sometimes
everyone's available for a price.
Yeah, then you got to pay a premium sometimes.
True.
Time will tell. Time will tell. Either way, they're in a pretty good spot. They're going to be a fun team to watch. At the very least, every fifth day you get to watch Tariq Skubal, and that's a blessing. The Royals are number 2 here in terms of projection. They went 82-80 last season, and their 2026 record projection is 82-80. So kind of right on the money. Off-season moves. Didn't really seem like they did much. I'm not going to lie. They signed Lane Thomas and Isaac Collins to bolster some of the outfield. But like those just aren't like crazy splashy names. Rotation-wise, Cole Reagans hopefully is back healthy and ready to roll. Guys like Chris Bubich and Michael Wacha, Aggie legend Gig'em. I believe World Series. No, not quite. But yeah, Aggie
were you
legend.
at to claim a World Series championship for one that you lost?
Huh?
What were you at?
Oh, World Series, not College World Series.
Oh, okay.
He's old. He was like an Aggie at 2014, 2015.
Because I said earlier something about
Jordan Westburg.
Jordan Westburg being I can't remember if he's College World Series champion. And I didn't know.
I was not about to claim one we lost.
Okay,
no.
I was about to say y'all didn't win that if I remember correctly.
No. But yeah, I think the rotation is not great. I don't think it's horrible, but I don't think there's a ton of splash there. You definitely don't have Tariq Skubal at the top of that rotation. No. And then lineup-wise, you led by the GOAT, Bobby Witt, one of the coolest players, I'd argue, in MLB. Talking about, like, always want to play shortstop. And similar like what Tatis does. Like, when you hit that well and then you can do that with the glove at shortstop. Now, Tatis doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah, kind of sad, but...
But, like, it's just so fun to watch in such... Like, I wish he was... I think everyone wishes he was... I mean, duh.
Yeah.
Wishes that they would watch him on his team.
Don't worry, he'll be a Dodger next year.
Miguel Garcia, Soler, Vinny Pasquantino is another good hitter on the team. We saw him raking with Italy in the World Baseball Classic. I still don't think it's the deepest lineup either. I wonder if we'll see Jack Caglione. He got caught up last season and did not really have a good start to his MLB career. BABIP was bad. I have it down here. Yeah, boasted a 172 BABIP. So that's just a bit unlucky there. And so maybe that reverts to a better number, and he can have more success if and when he plays. But, I mean, he was a top 5 pick.
Who? Caglione?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was up there. Is he on the roster, 40-man roster? Because he wasn't listed as a prospect, unless he just was lower down.
I have him listed as he's starting in right field.
Okay, so that's why
he played enough last season. He's no longer a prospect.
Okay, but he's also not in this projected starting lineup.
He played in 62 games last season and boasted of 43 WRC plus.
What is WRC plus?
Weighted runs created.
Okay, cool.
100 is average. 110 is like you're 10% better than average.
So
90 is you're 10%
really, really
less than average. He was really poor.
Okay. Is he still pitching at the MLB level?
I do not believe so.
Okay. I kind of expected him not to, but I knew that he did both. People called him like the Shohei Ohtani of college, which he was a great pitcher in college. So I suppose he could have done it, but interesting that he's not. Yeah. I can see what you're saying about the lineup, and I think it's so funny that people... The meme after the World Baseball Classic is that if you watch the World Baseball Classic with no context, you would think that the Royals were like a dynasty.
Yeah.
And they are not that. So
I will say, like, as much as I'm saying I don't really like either the lineup or the bullpen, and Harris in the chat, he doesn't really like their bullpen either. a lot of it's the same group, and they won 82 games last season.
Yeah.
So clearly they do have some like legit pieces there that we're discounting. Even like Salvador Perez, even though he's older, is a good catcher. Jonathan India looks like he's going to start at second for him. I just I don't see like any legit postseason aspirations out of this team in terms of like making the World Series or something like that.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
They also lost Mississippi State legend Adam Frazier.
I did not know he was a Mississippi State legend.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam Frazier.
Second baseman. Played here at State, but he's no longer with the Royals. Did you talk about Reagan's?
Yeah. That. Well, you mean what do you have on him? I just mentioned that he's back healthy. And
Yeah,
hopefully
that's
ready
exactly.
To,
yeah. Apparently, his 2024 season was fantastic, and then only had 13 starts last year because of a torn rotator cuff strain, not torn. So, if he comes back and he's playing like he did in 2024, that's really big. Is he your swing guy for this team?
Jack Caglione was my swing guy.
Okay.
Just like former top prospect. Rough start, but like, he's an offseason kind of adjust and see what he can do.
Yep.
Got a little unlucky last season. If he gets a chance, hopefully he takes and runs with it. Because especially this team, I feel like, doesn't have like crazy power down the lineup, and that's a huge power bat if he lives his potential.
Yeah.
Moving on, I was not gonna lie stunned to see this team listed at third in record projection. That's the Twins. Who went 70 and 92 last season, and then went 70. Their projection for 2026, is 79 and 83. And I think it stunned me because off rip, we heard all off season about how they maybe were just gonna like sell everyone. Like Joe Ryan. Oh, Byron Buxton's on the market. Was anyone going to trade for Byron Buxton? And they didn't actually end up selling any of those guys, so I guess like the roster's still okay. But I still, in my mind, I'm like, okay, now they're like a team that's like looking to sell and like ready to kind of maybe go into a bit of a rebuild. But I mean, they're projected to win 79 games. Off-season moves, they signed Victor Caratini to maybe play some behind the plate. Josh Bell, kind of a veteran slugger at this point. Either play first base or DH some. It looks like those are kind of their big moves. Joe Ryan, fantastic pitcher, is going to headline their staff. I don't really like the names behind him, though. I will not lie. Guys like Bailey Ober, who I believe is the former Uber driver, though maybe I'm confusing him with some other former Twins pitcher. So if I just called you an Uber driver, I apologize, Bailey, if you're not. Simeon Woods Richardson's in that rotation. And then lineup-wise, I love Byron Buxton. I really honestly was like hoping maybe the Braves would trade for him. Hopefully he stays healthy. Royce Lewis is another good bat who has maybe struggled to stay healthy some. I think it's a fine team.
You said that the Royals are third, and not the Twins are third in the division in win total projection?
Yeah.
That's really interesting because this is the first time the Vegas odds and your win projections have been different. The Twins have the fourth best odds to win the division at plus 900 behind the Guardians at plus 430.
So the Guardians are fourth here, and I bet it's a thing of like the Steamer's just a complete projection system based on current talent of roster.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet Vegas is baking in all the noise about them selling off pieces and probably looking to like move into a rebuild and not wanting to spend money. And so like expecting to take a step back from that standpoint. Whereas, mine's just a projection system based off talent, so they don't do any of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Plus, the models are different, so maybe it's not any of that, and they just spit out different numbers. I mean, the Guardians are projected at 77 to 85, so it's like only a couple game difference in terms of the projections. Anything else on the Twins, though?
Yeah, I have them. I think it is Walker Jenkins a former number one overall pick.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. I wrote in my notes, they have a former number one overall pick and forgot to write his name. But in the last 3 seasons, he's played 58 games and then 82, and then last season 106. So I think he's been dealing with injury and kind of playing more and more. But I believe he was drafted in like the late 2010s. So he's probably in his late 20s or 30s at this point. I wish I had written his name down. I can go find it later. But
I mean, Royce Lewis was drafted 2017.
hold on, can I see his face?
He's got like a mustache and he's bald, I think.
I think that's him. In what year?
2017.
Yeah.
Because he's dealt with injuries.
Yep.
So that would fit the bill.
So hopefully he gets healthy, right? Would love to see a complete season from him. And then also they've got a top 15 or the number 14 prospect in the minor leagues, Walker Jenkins, an outfielder. So if he can contribute, and then the last thing I'll say is that their payroll is down $50 million from 2024. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah.
But that didn't surprise me because
So-
they kind of tried to go all in that offseason and it didn't really work. That's
Yep.
like when they brought in Carlos Correa, stuff like that.
Yep. They also have San Diego Padre legend Josh Bell.
Yep.
Believe he was a Padre legend. The names all kind of run together, but I believe he was a Padre
He did
legend.
spend some time on the Padres.
But that's all I have on the Twins. So now we can get to what Vegas has as the third best team and what your source has as the fourth best team.
Yes, though this is the classic Cleveland Guardians who always outperform expectations. I mean, they're the rating division winners. They went 88-74 last season, hawked down the Detroit Tigers down the stretch to win the division last season. And their 2026 projection is 77-85, so 11 games worse is what they're projected to go. Classic Guardians move. Didn't
None.
really make off-season moves.
Yep.
I have one written down. Sean Armstrong signed him for $5.5 million. He's a pitcher. Did not recognize the name. So that tells you I'm not like the biggest MLB guy, but if I don't recognize the name, it definitely is not like a splashy signing.
Yeah. But also when you win the division, there's an argument to not make moves.
Correct.
Because they also didn't really lose anybody.
Correct.
So
now,
you keep the group together, get the band back together, run it back.
I mean, this is once again the classic Guardians way. I look at the rotation. I mean, Tanner Bibby is your one starter. Gavin Williams slots in behind him. I don't really love the rotation. I think it's fine. And once again, Guardians have another team that is pretty good about finding pitching wherever, like, just kind of little nooks and crannies and picking up other teams, like, kind of trash and recycling them into good pitchers. So, expect more of that. And then the lineup is honestly pretty good for a Guardians lineup. I like Kyle Manzardo, Reese Hoskins. Maybe he can find a bit more form. Bo Naylor is a pretty good hitting catcher. You obviously have Jose Ramirez still there. He's kind of been the stalwart for a long time. Stephen Kwan is a really good contact hitter, plays great defense. I think Chase DeLauder is a younger guy.
He is. He's the number 46 prospect.
Yeah. And then, so I do think it's a better lineup than we've seen out of some recent Guardians teams. I am excited for that. I do wonder maybe, I doubt it, if we would see some Jace Laviolette this season, Aggie legend. My guess is he doesn't debut until next season.
Yeah, he wasn't listed in the. He may have been top 100. I usually stopped like 50 or 60 just because I wasn't sure how much those guys would impact this season. So I did not write him down as an impact prospect.
I would not expect. The odds are he does not debut this season.
He also technically came off an injury as well? Or was that Grahovac?
He's coming off an injury, but he was able to play some of the tail end of last minor league season and fall ball.
Okay.
Because he just broke his hand at the end of the last college baseball season.
Okay.
So.
And then, do we want to go ahead? No, we still have one more team.
Yeah,
Apologies.
and we're going to blitz through this team.
I mean, they have one of the most. No, I'm not even. They have Brady Montgomery. So there you go. There's your guy.
The White Sox went 62-100 last season, and their record projection for this upcoming season, 2026, is 69-93.
Improvement.
They made one of the more shocking signings of free agency in that it was signing Munetaka Murakami.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right.
Looks good to me.
Bit of a power bat, but swing and miss concerns really dropped his value, which I think is why the White Sox ended up signing him, because they felt like it was a price that was kind of a bit of a buy low, and he could maybe be a future piece of this team. Besides that, they just kind of signed a couple other depth pieces to kind of try and get them through this rebuild, wait for prospects to come up and shore it up. Rotation, I have, first thing in my notes, in contention for worst rotation in MLB. Shane Smith, I believe, was the opening day starter.
Yeah.
In his second year.
Yep.
He had a 3.81 ERA last season, but, kind of time will tell. I mean,
he didn't make it 2 innings.
He didn't, yeah. There you go. Sean Burke, Anthony Kay. I think I saw Eric Fetty is a projected starter. That is really bad if that is the case. Used to be a good day when you were the Braves and Eric Fetty was starting for the Nationals.
He is, yeah.
So the rotation's bad, and the lineup is crazy young. Kyle Teal, who is hurt right now.
Mississippi State legend-in-law.
Yes.
A legend-in-law.
UVA legend. He was great the bit he played for Team Italy before getting hurt. Colson Montgomery's a fun piece. Chase Mydroth hit a leadoff home run today for the White Sox, and that was their lone run of the game. You know, they got a lead for a little bit.
That's big.
Luis Angel Acuna, Ronald Acuna's brother.
Yeah.
Not nearly
He's
as
young,
good.
right?
Younger, but like he's not like a top prospect. And then maybe Braden Montgomery debuts later this season.
Yeah.
Is he their highest prospect?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're only
Which is fantastic.
guy in the top 50, I believe.
That's not necessarily a bad thing to have Braden Montgomery be your best prospect. He's been raking in the minors. So, shall we pick this division? Do you have anything you want to add on the White Sox?
No.
Cool.
I was like I said, Mississippi State legend-in-law Kyle Teal. It was all I was going to say about that, but I'm down to go ahead and pick it.
I got Guardians.
Okay.
Just trust, man.
A shout out to my brother. We'll be going the Tigers, obviously. They end up losing the division close last season, which he kind of predicted. I feel like he has terrible luck with sports teams, which I'm a State fan, so like we're not much different. But his teams are like he's a Kentucky fan, so like they're almost good but choke. So he's a Kentucky fan, they're good and choke. Now you got the Guardians, the Tigers, who were fantastic last year. At one point, up double-digit games in their division and end up choking down the stretch, and then almost win it's AL, not the ALDS. I believe they almost won the divisional series over the Mariners, and then end up losing to the Mariners.
I think they lost in 5 games.
Okay, 5 games, and it goes to 5, right?
Yes,
Because it's not 7.
They lost the winner take all.
Yeah,
Harris
so
can back us up on that.
didn't they have multiple 18-inning games in that series?
Surely not multiple 18.
But one of them was stupid long. It was on till 2 a.m. I was in the casino.
I thought they had 2 super long ones in that. Harris, you can confirm for me. I thought y'all had 2 very long games in that series. But all that to say, I will be picking the Tigers. I'll be repping my younger brother and his fandom. And also, they're the favorite, so it's not even like a hot take. I'm not picking a huge underdog.
You're not necessarily going out on a thin limb here.
Yeah. So, and then he also said the biggest storyline for the Guardians has to be Clase. Clase, excuse me.
He's the guy that's in the betting scandal.
Okay.
So.
And then he said in the 18th or 15th inning. Are you saying you had an 18-inning game and a 15-inning game? Or are you saying...
I think he's saying he doesn't remember.
Okay.
If not, he doesn't know how to use or.
Yeah.
He needs to
It could be a typo.
Watch the conjunction junction, what's your function, Schoolhouse Rock song badly.
Facts. JP, who are you going?
I'm gonna go with the Royals of
There we
Kansas City.
So we got 3 different directions. We all went 3 teams.
If we collectively swing and miss on that would be wild.
I
feel pretty good about that.
Yeah,
not
I
happening.
feel very good about that.
Correct. On to the AL West we go. I'm just letting Sanders type in the picks, so that's why I'm not locked in. Or I am locked in, but I'm just waiting patiently. Y'all can wait patiently with me.
Appreciate that.
Let's boogie. The Mariners, who last year went 90-72, are projected this season to go 88-74, the best record projection in the AL West. Their biggest offseason moves, in my opinion, they traded for Brendan Donovan to be a bit of a utility guy for them, and then they re-signed Josh Naylor, who was great down the stretch for them after they traded for him. I love the rotation, led by Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby. What a fire 3. But then, like, behind him, it's Luis Castillo, who's really good. And then Bryce Miller, who was phenomenal. Phenomenal. In 2024, he had a sub-3 ERA in 31 starts. And then last season's ERA was above 5. And it was a bit of an injury-plagued season. So hopefully he's, back and into form. And why am I hyping him up so much? Well, Gig'em, he's an Aggie legend, so I had to give him a shout. But he's also just really good. And then we also going to see Cole Emerson debut at some point this season as a pitcher. Lineup-wise, Cal Raleigh's the big dumpers there. Julio Rodriguez is there. Randy, Josh Naylor, J.P. Crawford, who I think is starting the season on the IL.
Correct.
But that's a fun group. They're good, but also that's a lot of characters and a lot of emotion, and that's just an exciting lineup to watch go to work every night.
Yeah.
I'm pretty high on this team. We haven't picked the division yet, but I'll just go in and say I do really like this group. I think they can make another potential postseason run. They have the pitching to do it. I think their lineup's in a pretty good spot.
They've got the second best odds of any team to win their division, and the best odds of a team that didn't just buy it. So
yeah,
they're at minus 105, and the only other team that is minus money is the Dodgers at minus 700, but they don't count. So it just goes to show you that you can buy whatever you want if you have enough money.
Yeah, Polanco is gone. Harris, that is correct.
As is a couple other losses. They lost Mississippi State legend Lou Cincha.
They did have to trade him to get Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, they switched the pitcher. He pitches with both hands. It's lower.
Who I think I saw they are converting him out of switch pitching.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He throws 5 miles an hour slower.
Yeah, it's
not that. He's throwing 90 to 95. It's still very impressive.
Yeah, it's it's 95 from one hand and 90 with the other, or maybe it might have been 88 in college, 90. Yeah, somewhere around there. But that makes sense. Other pieces that they lost, Eugenio Suarez, I believe he was good. That name is very familiar.
That's a good point. I didn't mention him.
I try names just stand out to me as I've heard this name a lot, so clearly he must be good.
Another name they traded for at the deadline, and then he's back with the Reds, which we'll get to them later.
Cool.
But
and then some of their prospects to watch: a top 10 prospect, shortstop, Colt Emerson, could see playing time, and then 2 pitchers in the top 35, Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan. So they've got they've got some younger guys sitting in the wings, waiting in the wings that could see playing time.
That's awkward to have Colt Emerson written down as a pitcher. That's bad on my part.
I
trust you.
I don't trust me. Now I'm concerned. I'm nervous. But we'll just pretend I am correct and keep rattling through. Well, he's both. He
does it all.
Yeah, he's
the next show.
He's a do-it-all guy.
Except he also plays in the field.
So those are some younger guys to keep your eyes on. But yeah, this is a team that brings back mostly everything from last year.
Yeah, you are right. I was wrong. You are right.
Cool. But did you want to talk about their rotation at all, or did you already do that?
I did. It's one of my favorite in baseball.
That's fire for them.
Deep and has great top-end talent. So.
And real quick, Harris has made a bet that if we sweep if his Tigers sweep my Padres, I have to wear his Kerry Carpenter jersey on the next podcast. And if not, he'll wear my Padres jersey out in public. So all the Padres have to do is win one game.
Yeah, you're in good shape. He's feeling really confident.
I feel like are we playing a 5-game, 4-game?
It could be. It depends on if you'll play tomorrow or not.
I'm gonna look.
I feel like you take it regardless.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm just curious, It's 2-8. We scored 2 runs. This bet, I'm gonna take that bet now before we beat you this game. 3-game. Nope. Yes, 3-game. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, and then we go play the Giants and Tony Vitello. But I'll take that. I think we can take 1 game from you or 2 games. It's not over.
It's not over.
You want to move on to the
the
next
Rangers
team?
are next.
Rangers,
in terms
okay.
of odds, which I will say, no, I lied. Just kidding.
Astros are next.
Yes.
Cool.
No, the Rangers are next. But I was about to say them and the Astros have the same projection, but that's not true. That's what I was saying. I lied about. The Rangers are projected to go 83-79. The Astros are projected to go 81-81.
Big difference.
So we'll start with the Rangers. They signed Jordan Montgomery coming off Tommy John's. Brought in veteran outfielder Andrew McCutchen. Also traded for Brandon Nimmo. Marcus Semien went out in that deal. And then also traded for Mackenzie Gore. The rotation, which is headlined by Jacob deGrom, elite when he plays, but I think he stayed healthy last year. But before that, it was 3 straight seasons of injuries. So hopefully he can stay healthy. Nathan Eovaldi is a good number 2. Already mentioned Mackenzie Gore, and then you have the Vandy boys at 4 and 5, and Jack Leader and Kumar Rocker. Pretty solid rotation. And then lineup-wise, Corey Seager still there, great. Wyatt Langford, Florida Gator legend, I believe. And then, they traded for Brandon Nimmo, like I mentioned, so he's there. I do think the bottom of the lineup is not great. I would consider it a below-average lineup.
That's tough.
I'm looking at the projected lineup, and if Andrew McCutcheon's hitting 5 at his current state, I don't love that. Jake Berger's had some, good flashes. Josh Young's had some good flashes. So maybe if people can kind of live up to their potential, I'll look foolish. But I just don't love the look of it. I don't think it's the deepest lineup.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. It's not one of the worst in baseball, but
losses. They added Luis Garcia, who was good.
He was really good. He's in my notes for whichever team he went to, which I'm blanking now where he went. He was really good when they won the World Series in 2023.
Thank you.
Just has never really returned to that form or replicated that, so they have moved on from him.
And then I saw a name that I wanted to, just real quick, you mentioned him, Kumar Rocker. His story is crazy. And I don't know, I feel like he kind of fell off the face of the planet for a little bit, so I feel like he's Darth Maul, you don't know what happened. Exactly. Kumar Rocker was one of the best pitchers in the country as a freshman at Vanderbilt, and then pitched sophomore and junior year. We beat him when we won the World Series or one of those games, got drafted, and then failed the physical. And it was like, well, is his career just over? Like, there's something in his elbow going on that's not supposed to be going on. What's going to happen?
I think it was shoulder.
Was it shoulder?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But failed physical, and it was just not good. It was not a good look for him because I think there were also some worries about him, having lied about it or played through it. It just didn't look good for anyone involved, and he fell off the face of the planet, and now here he is as a starter for a major league team. So that's a really cool story there, and hope that he continues to find that kind of success because he was his freshman year was incredible.
Yeah, he was great.
So really cool to see him recovering after it kind of like his career was going to be over before it even finished in the majors. But that's all I've got to say there. Prospect to watch for the Rangers is a shortstop / third baseman, Sebastian Walcott. And, if you're right about their lineup being bad, there might be opportunities to play.
Yeah.
For him. He's number 7 right now. So that'll be something to keep your eye on.
And then the last thing I want to add, swing player, which is not actually a player. Their bullpen blew 29 saves last season, which was 4th most in baseball. And if you go back to the offseason moves I mentioned, they didn't really bring in a legit closer. They brought in some value pieces, and then maybe someone on their team last year, like a Chris Martin or somebody like that, will try and be the closer. But just something to keep an eye on, because if they have those same struggles again this season, one is just, that's a lot of games you should have won that you lost, duh. But especially if they do make the playoffs, get into the playoffs, that's really scary. But anything you want to add, JP?
Cool.
Astros next.
Yes.
Already mentioned their projection for 2026 is 81-81, exactly 500. They went 87-75 last year. Not a ton of big offseason moves. They let Framber walk, and they replaced him with a couple guys. They brought in Mike Burrows and then Tatsuya Ime, I think.
Yeah, that looks right.
Ime.
Yeah. Say it with confidence
to
and
bolster
people will believe
rotation.
you.
That's what I should have done. And speaking of the rotation, Hunter Brown took a big step forward last season. Is kind of their ace now. It's looking to build off of that best season of his young career. Behind him, it's a little scary. Mike Burrows is fine. Tatsuya Ime he's my swing player for them. It's just kind of all about command. How impactful can he be? Can he be a guy that is legit middle of the rotation guy, or is he more of a guy that's every couple starts he's only pitching 3 innings or 2 innings, and he's kind of more your 5th starter guy? Because the middle of the rotation really, it needs him to actually be a middle of the rotation guy for that group to really round out. Then the lineup, it's kind of more the same. Jordan's still there. Carlos Correa's back, right? Altuve's still there, chugging along.
Yeah, the pillars.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy Pena is I think he's progressing nicely in terms of rehab. He did not start today. They said they're gonna ease him back in. But I think technically he could have played today. It is crazy. I was thinking while doing this, it's all these guys are still on this team and good. George Springer was in the World Series raking last season. Kyle Tucker just got mega paid. Like, the talent on those Astro teams was insane for that stretch. And while it is winding down, like, some of that is still here, and it's the reason that they're projected to potentially go 81 and 81. Even if I don't necessarily love the outlook of this team, that window is closing for sure. Any thoughts on this team? What do you have?
First thing is all of their additions to the pitching staff were right-handers.
Okay.
And if you look, their entire starting rotation is right-handers, which, like, if they're good, doesn't matter. I just feel like that's rare.
That is interesting, yeah.
That's not at all like you're screwed. Like, if your pitchers are good, then you're gonna win a lot of games. But
you'd rather have a good right-handed pitcher than have a bad left-handed pitcher just to have a left-handed
correct.
pitcher.
But just interesting. That's more of a note than a concern or praise. And then the other thing I was gonna say, they made minimal changes to the offense. It was ranked 21st in runs scored last season. So we kind of talked about the Mariners, right? You bring everyone back. This is going to be great. It's kind of like with the Astros. It's like you brought everybody back. Is this going to work?
Yeah, the lineup is not very good. We talked about the mainstays still being there. The backfilling that was really successful early on in kind of their window is dried up.
Yeah, I mean, it's
The
very
recent
dried up.
prospects
They're
have not panned out.
here you can see my notes from minor league prospects. It is blank.
That's not great.
And I don't know if that's because the website wasn't working, but it was the only team it wasn't working for. So I think it might just be they didn't have anybody.
Sure.
I was using the MLB prospects website. So I was like, every other team, you click the drop down, go to the team, click it, it pulled them up. This team didn't have anybody in the top 100, which is not what you want to see. So that'll be something interesting to see. This might because is this just who they have? Do they have anybody that's gonna step up and develop? Because they're kind of like the Washington Commanders, right? Where it's a bunch of old guys, and so you kind of think it's got to be in win now. Except that I don't really know if you can win now. With
and
this
they don't
team.
they don't have the money right now either. They have some already pricey contracts. They're trying to cut back payroll, so they're just really not in a great spot. I think it's one of the things where the front office wouldn't tell you this, but I think they're pretty content to let this window close and move on, and just kind of ride off into the sunset.
Which, if they were going to do that, why not trade some of these pieces because they are good pieces?
Well, maybe they will.
Maybe
if the
this
season
is the year
goes
we
bad.
see it.
But they were still kind of hanging around in contention last season. But also a lot of these guys have given you so much. They've given you multiple World Series rings. They did one too, right?
17 and 21 or something like that. Late teens and early 2000s.
The fans love them. I wouldn't really be too surprised if the fans aren't crazy upset by this of just being we'll let Jose Altuve play out the rest of his career as an Astro. We'd love that rather than ship him off for whatever you can get for him, right? We'll see. We'll see what they do. But I just wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of the route they go. Any thoughts on that, either y'all or this team?
No, I'm pulling up the World Series champions list because I am curious. They won it in 22 over the Phillies, and I know they won one in the teens. They did
win the one in the teens. I couldn't remember if they won one in the 20s because I remember the Braves beat them that one year.
Yeah, they beat the Phillies in 22.
They beat the Dodgers
and they beat the Dodgers in 17. So I was right on. I said 17 and early 2020s. So
nailed it.
The year after the Braves won it.
Yep. Fourth place here is the Athletics, who went 76 and 86 in 2025, and their win projection for this year is 79 and 83. Not a ton of offseason moves. They did bring in Jeff McNeil to bolster the lineup, can play different positions in the infield, maybe even a little bit of outfield, and they extended Tyler Soderstrom. The rotation is not great. I have here Severino is ace in quotation marks, considering he had a 4.5 ERA last year. Aaron Savale is probably in the rotation. Jeffrey Springs. It's a bad rotation. That being said, the lineup is a ton of fun, and the lineup's great, and the lineup is pretty young in a lot of spots. Nick Kurtz was fantastic last season. Shea Langoliers, former Baylor Bear, is a good power-hitting catcher. Tyler Soderstrom's been great. I mean, he just got that 6-year extension. Mississippi State legend Brent Rooker.
Triple Crown winner, Brent Rooker.
Yep, mashing.
At Mississippi State.
Doing what he does. Jacob Wilson has been good. I think he homered today. Denzel Clark is hurt right now, but is a speedster and really fun to watch patrol center field. It's a really fun group. I wish the rotation was a little bit better because I think they're gonna have to score a ton to win just about any game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with them.
I was going to say that this lineup was either bad or young, and it sounds like they're young because there was not, other than Brent Rooker and Max Muncy. Those are the names on that list that I could like.
They're not the same Max Muncy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's just a guy named Max Muncy.
Oh, well then I don't even know this Max Muncy.
It took me a second because I did have like a mental brain fart. Like I swear, like looking at the Dodgers roster today, they still had Max Muncy.
It's a young 23-year-old named Max Muncy.
That's wild. Well,
I mean,
it's a bunch of young guys.
I want to say Nick Kurtz had like a 1 OPS last season as a rookie or something close to that. Maybe it dropped below Soderstrom. It's a very fun group. It is young, so there's probably some volatility. Maybe there's a Nick Kurtz sophomore slump.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But it definitely is way better than the rotation. There's a lot of promise and upside.
And then prospects to watch: Leo DeVries.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4
Padre. Prospect.
Really?
I believe y'all traded him to get Mason Miller.
Okay. Anyway, shortstop. So that could be a guy that sees some playing time this season, or will likely see playing time this season. But now on to the
Angels.
Yep. One of the worst teams.
The aimless Angels.
Yep.
The wandering Angels. They went 72-90 last season, and hey, congrats! They're projected to go 74-88 this season.
I feel like the Angels got really lucky because they were so bad like 4 years ago, but then the Rockies made everyone forget because the Rockies were even worse, like last year.
I don't know. I feel like the Angels still get so much hate because also like you've had Mike Trout, and Mike Trout's played in 1 playoff game.
Yeah, and you had Shohei, and Shohei never played in the playoff
Correct.
game with them, or if he did, it was like 1.
They love giving lots of money out to players that aren't very good or that end up being bad contracts. Like they signed Albert Pujols and then did a ton of money, and that just deal fell apart. He was not worth even close to the value down the stretch. In terms of offseason moves, they signed Adam Frazier, Mississippi State legend, we were talking about
Mississippi
earlier.
State legend, yep.
As well as Heimer Candelario, and acquired Josh Lowe. The rotation is not great. Jose Soriano is pretty good. Yusei Kikuchi is there now. I'd say ideally it's an average rotation is probably what you're hoping for with that bunch. And then in terms of the lineup, Mike Trout's still there, but like he's struggling to stay healthy. He isn't necessarily he's not the elite hitter he once was. I'm not saying he's bad, but like it used to be like Mike Trout's going to put up 8 WAR. Those days are probably over. Zach Neto, Joe Waddell, Noah Shanuel are other pretty good bats, but also like the lineup, I think even in an ideal world is like in the teens. Like you're just not gonna you're just neither group, the rotation of the lineup is gonna like be a great to elite unit.
I'm going to go fact check what Harris just said because this morning he was listed Leo DeVries. DeVries?
Yeah.
Was listed in the A's organization, like as one of their prospects. He's still listed in Wikipedia. Says he's still in the Athletics organization.
It could be a different DeVries.
Yeah, Harris. That might be a different DeVries.
I'm thinking of Tucker DeVries, the college basketball player, and that is definitely not.
Probably not
here.
him. Probably
no, I
not
don't
him.
think so.
But I'm imagining that it's just somebody. It's a different DeVries, or you are mistaken because everything I has him in the A's organization. But with that being said, let's see. Do I have any notes on the Angels?
Fine lineup, below average rotation.
Their top prospect is ranked number 81.
Not great.
Not good at all. I haven't read these, so that's bad. They didn't really add anybody, but they also didn't really lose anybody. So that's cool.
Congrats.
You made no great improvements on a team that was not great last year. So prepare for another year of bad, and RIP Mike Trout. Why did he not play in the World Baseball Classic?
maybe he just wanted to get healthy for this year. I mean, he really has had big time like injury issues. Not like torn ACLs and stuff. But like, I keep pulling my hammy, stuff like that. My back, I pulled my back.
Man,
he's just getting old.
He should just retire from the MLB and play in the World Baseball Classic every 4 years.
It maybe just be bad. He'd lose so much money.
Yeah, but he's got enough money.
True.
He's made enough money in his career.
I'm picking the Mariners to win this division, and I feel pretty good about that pick. The Rangers have been a pretty frisky, fun. I think they're gonna. A lot of people have picked them to have a big step up. One, I don't know if I really see that, but also I just like the Mariners enough that I think even if the Rangers take a big jump, the Mariners can still match pace and win the division.
Yeah, I'm also going Mariners. Like I said earlier, they have the best odds of any team that did not buy their wins. So, I'll be going Mariners.
I'm going Mariners as well.
Good job,
Chalk
team.
across the board. Let me add that to the notes.
Add it to the notes. We're moving on to the NL, so we're halfway. The National League East, mine and JP's division, where our Braves reside. They are not first. The Mets are first, who went 83-79 last year, and this year are projected to go 88-74. Big-time offseason moves from them. They let Edwin Diaz go. They let Pete Alonso go. It's definitely kind of a bit of a changing of the guard, changing of philosophies. Out with the old in the new. It become, I guess, clear to them that their current core needed some shaking up. They didn't do a complete, tear down.
Yeah. Jorge Polanco, Nimmo's gone.
Yes, Nimmo's gone. McNeil's gone. They just felt like things needed to change, and so they did that. Like I just said, all those guys are gone, and in their stead, they brought in guys like Luis Robert. There's some contention on how you say it. Marcus Semien. They traded for Marcus Semien.
Yeah.
Bo Bichette is now on the team. They traded for Freddie Peralta from the Brewers to kind of give them another top-line starter. So it's a new-look Mets, but, that being said, they still have guys like Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto and Francisco Alvarez, as stalwarts in that lineup. Brett Beatty's still there as a young guy. Carson Bench is a prospect for them.
They also, while you talk about them being young, they have 2 top 20 prospects in the minors as well.
Well, they have Noel McLean.
Yes.
Who started 8 games for them last season for a tune of 2.08 ERA. Fantastic.
That's good.
You also may know the name. He pitched in the World Baseball Classic for the U.S.
Yeah.
If I'm not expecting him to have a 2.08 ERA again, but if he can put together 25 starts of like a 3 ERA, that's fantastic. Because I do think I like Freddie Peralta a lot. I don't think he's like a top-tier ace. I think he's just like a solid number 1 pitcher. David Peterson, not the biggest fan of David Peterson. Clay Holmes is fine. Kodai Senga with his ghost ball, or his ghost fork, are just like he's maybe still a bit of a question mark. But if McLean can show what he did last season and do it over a full season and prove that's legit, I think this rotation becomes like legitimately top 7, top 5, like no question. And then to go with the names in the lineup, this is a fantastic team. We're just going to see if that comes to fruition.
Yeah, this feels to me like, was it 3 years ago that they brought in Verlander and Scherzer? Like, they brought in a bunch of, they were old, but they were still good. Like, they kind of, they spent big in free agency. And I can't remember who they brought in for the lineup to play the field, but it just didn't work out. And so that's kind of left a sour taste in my mouth when it comes to the Mets and actually performing up to the talent they have on the roster.
It's not even that. I mean, it's the common thing of, like, it's as Metsy as it
Yeah.
Metsy. Like, they've had guys walking on their ranch and steps in a hole and he breaks both sides of his ankle.
Yeah.
And Yoenis Cespedes. Like, they've had crazy collapses. I mean, in 2024, the Braves they had a 10-game division lead, and the Braves chased them down.
Dang.
And won the division. Stuff like that. So you have reason for skepticism. It feels like, picking the Jets to, actually be good or something like that.
I feel like
they at least have more talent than the Jets do. But even like years the Jets have talent, like Aaron Rodgers' season, that was supposed to be it. That didn't even get off the ground.
Yeah.
The biggest highlight we got of Aaron Rodgers in the Jets uniform is him running out with the American flag.
Like picking the Falcons to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
The Falcon's going to falcon, as JP says. So
now the Mets at least have the thing that they can throw a lot of money at it with their owner, and I do like their GM, as weird as that is. So,
like I said, they also have They have the number 16 prospect and outfielder Carson Benj,
who homered today.
Yeah, that is big for them as well. So they are a young lineup, but they're also talented, and they've got other guys waiting in the wings for opportunities. So
yeah, and I mean they're a young lineup. In a way, but also like the young guys don't have to be the best hitters in the lineup.
Yeah,
they can lean on Lindor and Soto and Bichette, and then everything you get from the young guys is kind of like a nice treat.
Yeah, although as a Padres fan, I would hate to have to lean on Soto. That's all I'll say.
Oh, okay. I want to stop talking good about the Mets now. So anything else to add? And if not, we can move on to our boys.
Oh, really? Your boys are up next?
We are.
Interesting. I guess Vegas is taking into account that y'all are going to trade Ronald Acuna.
No, that's fighting words. I'll unplug your mic. I have access that you
is
don't
true.
have.
You could I'll just yell really loud into your mic then.
Now we've JP's shut himself off.
Yeah. You muted yourself.
There now Sanders is turned off.
Oops.
No, the Braves are second in terms of record projection, which I can scroll up to the top of my doc, so now I got to scroll all the way down because I'm a bozo. Braves went 76-86 last season, and this season their win projection is 88-74, which is the exact same as the Mets. So it's actually a 1-2. Braves offseason moves. Brought back Ha-Sung Kim after they claimed him off waivers.
Padres legend Ha-Sung Kim,
who has slipped on ice and broken his hand. Or tore a ligament in his hand. So
y'all have the worst luck.
So he will miss. He'll probably be back late May.
Y'all have the worst luck.
It's pretty tough. But we traded for Mauricio Dubon from the Astros, so he'll play in his stead while he's getting healthy. And then we signed Robert Suarez and brought back Iglesias to shore up the back end of the bullpen. They'll probably be the 8th inning guy and the 9th inning guy, respectively. Let's talk on the rotation real quick. It's headlined by GOAT Chris Sale. 2024 Cy Young winner Chris Sale, who was also very good last season. Behind him, though, has been nuked by injuries.
Yep.
Strider's on the 15-day IL.
Which at this point, is he injury prone? Like, is that a base? Because then, like,
no, he's coming off a Tommy John. He just hasn't recovered yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Tommy John.
It's his second Tommy John.
It's the second Tommy John.
I didn't know players got 2 Tommy Johns.
It's not super common.
Yeah.
I think this time he did repair it differently, though.
That's good,
like
given that
it
clearly didn't work the first time.
Regardless, we want him to find back to form, but I think he pulled his back or something. Oblique strain. So
yeah.
Yes.
So
but
now we've got 2 Tommy Johns and an
first
oblique
of that
strain.
kind. Like, he's not someone that typically is pulling muscles.
Okay.
It's not
well,
great.
he hasn't pulled a muscle because he hasn't played.
All the Braves pitchers are injured.
All the Braves pitchers
you
are
put on
injured.
the uniform, you're in bad shape. AJ Smith-Shawver.
Are y'all the San Francisco 49ers of baseball?
I don't think we're quite to that point yet in terms of reputation.
Okay, I'm just
It's
saying,
it's been a couple seasons.
Does someone need to check? Yeah, it's been a couple seasons. That's multiple years. Does someone need to check on y'all's strength and conditioning staff?
A lot of some of it's the same people, so it's like Yeah, I have legitimate questions. AJ Smith-Shawver won't be pitching this season. He had to get Tommy John's last season. Spencer Schwellenbach had to get elbow surgery, and Hurston Waldrop also had to get elbow surgery, and so they're both out till midsummer. Joey Wentz tore his ACL in spring training and been pitching well, trying to earn one of the back-end rotation spots, trying to field a ground ball. So that one hurts.
Yep.
So that means behind Chris Sale are guys like Ronaldo Lopez, who's coming off a shoulder issue, Grant Holmes, who's coming off a UCL issue of his own, but is a good pitcher. I like him a lot. And then guys like, Braves legend Bryce Elder, who's not good, and Jose Suarez potentially, or Didier Fuentes may slide to that 5 spot, who's the Braves' top pitching prospect, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, I would have y'all's as Cam Caminiti.
Yeah.
But he's ranked number 68, so that's not
Didier
great.
is awesome.
That's good.
The Braves conspiracy theory is because we're Braves fans and hype up our guy. Is he's just being really disrespected?
Okay.
But I hope he gets the 5th starting spot. I'll get to the lineup in a second, but I'm just going to talk about my swing players, and that's Waldrop and Schwellenbach. Way more talented than guys like Bryce Elder and even like Ronaldo Lopez at this point. And they're going to come back this summer, but the real question is like how effective are they going to be with no real normal ramp up, not a full season? Like how much we're going to be able to rely on them to come back and pitch? Because we've seen it so many times of like pitchers come back summer or towards the end of the season, and they just never really find their footing. It's a lost season basically.
Yeah.
If it's a lost season for those guys, we're in bad shape. We really need at least one of them to come back and like legitimately hit the ground running and be good.
But 2027, y'all will be great. So that's
Yeah,
good.
except they'll probably just get hurt again.
Let's move on to 2027.
The
Except
reason,
we're not having
despite those
2027.
injuries, the win projection is so high is I'm expecting a bounce back from the lineup.
Okay.
And I would argue the projection is as well, just all things considered. Acuna said he's at 200% and ready to go. He looked great in the World Baseball Classic. Drake Baldwin, 2025 NL Rookie of the Year, has raked in spring training, looks to continue his great hitting ways. Matt Olson has been phenomenal for the Braves. Austin Riley has grown out the hair.
Mississippi State legend, Austin Riley.
Our manager has labeled him as the bounce-back candidate of the year in terms of for the team, like the guy that's just really ready to hit the ground running again.
Who's the bounce back? Sorry.
Austin Riley.
Okay.
Michael Harris hopefully can learn how to take a walk. Maybe we'll see what we can get from Ozzie Albies. I think it's a good lineup. I don't think it's like best lineup in baseball, but like there's legitimate star power here. There's just great power in this lineup in general. You have a guy like Acuna leading it off. Sean Murphy should join the fold. Ha-Seong Kim will fit into that lineup when he gets healthy. And I'm not saying he's a great hitter, but I'd say he's better than Mauricio Dubon.
Yeah.
I'm really high on the lineup. I think it's going to be a bounce back, and we can kind of see why so many of these guys got extensions and have gotten brought back and are still, have trust put in them year after year.
How do you feel about Kyle Farmer as opposed to Marcell Ozuna?
Well, here's the thing. We're supposed to be in great shape because Kyle Farmer wasn't supposed to be playing, except then Jurickson Profar got himself suspended for the whole season.
Yep. Was Profar not going to play outfield?
He was going to DH. Most
okay.
likely, and he did not really seem too happy about the fact. He would have played in the outfield some to give people some rest, but also Sean Murphy is hurt right now from a hip tear. He will come back in May. He'll catch.
I am seriously concerned about y'all strength and conditioning.
He'll catch, and Drake Baldwin will probably DH more often than not.
Why is Drake Baldwin not listed? Is he hurt?
He's there.
Oh, is he?
He's batting second.
Okay, I just missed him. Apologies.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Anything you'd like to add, JP, as a Braves fan?
Well, we have a ring, so I don't really
true.
get what the 49ers
see my
comparison
shirt? Yeah.
is here. 49ers don't have that,
Yeah.
so I think it's pretty invalid.
Also, some of our injuries happen. Like Acuna tore one of his ACLs in Lone Depot Park in Miami in front of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch wall. So,
Are y'all just going to bench him next time y'all play there?
he made DH. It's like going to play at MetLife, basically.
Okay. Genevisan 003 asked, will Ozuna still be attending Truist?
I hope he still breaks out the character. He was a guy that dressed up like Marcell Ozuna, like neon arm sleeve and everything, and went to every Braves game.
Okay.
And he was called Ozuna. And
Sick.
was active on Twitter.
Did signatures.
Yeah.
He did signatures?
Yes. I went to a game, and
He was a big deal.
was in a section by him, and he had people lining
Did he
up
put
for
his own
signatures.
signature, or did he pretend to sign Marcell Ozuna's signature?
I don't know. I didn't get a close enough look.
I feel like that could get dangerous if you're signing someone else's name.
He had like a sick handlebar mustache and like the flip-up sunglasses. Became famous because he was like dancing on home plate at one point, and Marcell Ozuna hit a home run.
Except, why would he still be attending if Marcell Ozuna is no longer?
Because he's definitely still a Braves fan, and like at this point, he's almost more than just Marcell Ozuna cosplayer.
Okay.
He's like his own thing. He's Ozuna.
He's
Yeah.
Ozuna. Okay. Like I said, y'all's top prospect is number 68, which I can't wait until 68 becomes a meme as well, just because it sits right in the middle of two already meme numbers. It'll happen eventually, but that'll be something like y'all are one of those. There are some teams, you got like 3 guys in the top 15, and you have some teams where the first guys in the 60s or the 70s. So y'all are one of those teams.
Yeah, we had a couple bad drafts, and then also we traded a couple top prospects away for good guys.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. Third in this division, is the Phillies, who went 96-66 last season and won this division. But this season, they're projected to only go 86-76. Biggest offseason moves were re-signing Kyle Schwarber, who homered today, and they also gave Christopher Sanchez, one of their best starting pitchers, an extension. This is where Adolis Garcia is. They signed him, and they also brought in Brad Keller. The rotation is great. I don't really have any faults with it. Christopher Sanchez, like I mentioned, is great. Zach Wheeler is still there. Jesus Luzardo has been a good kind of get after he spent some time at the Marlins, and then maybe he went somewhere else, and now he ended up at the Phillies regardless. I digress. And then Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola, I think, is their projected number 4 starter. That's a really good spot to be. Now the guys are getting a little older. Is Zach Wheeler gone?
No, he's on IL 15-day at the moment.
Thoracic outlet decompression
right,
surgery.
Interesting. So he's on IL, but hopefully he gets back at some point for Phillies fans. Rotation's great. It's in good shape. And then the lineup, you still have guys like Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber's back, Bryce Harper's still there.
Yep.
Guys are starting to get a little older.
Mm-hmm.
Alec Boehm and Bryson Stott are some younger guys. Bryson Stott's been pretty good. Alec Boehm, shaky. He's a horrible defender. He's a joy to watch as a Braves fan when he plays third base. I guess it really is just maybe age. I am trying to figure out why the win total is. I am a little surprised they're listed as third in this division in terms of
I will say they have the second best odds to win the division at plus 170.
Sure.
Behind the Mets at plus 130. So it's very close to 50-50.
Even like the win projections, like they're 2 games behind the Braves and the Mets, so it is pretty close.
But I will say this could be an interesting lineup. I mean, I don't know. I know almost every one of these names, and for me to know a name, that player either has to be good or a meme, and most of these players are not memes. So they were good at some point. Guys like JT Realmuto.
I think it's a good. I think it's
Brandon
a good,
Marsh,
not great lineup.
Adolis Garcia, like those are all names that I know.
Yeah.
And maybe they're just not in their primes anymore, which does come into that kind of like winning division versus not winning the division. But any other thoughts, JP? Their top prospects are ranked number 23, number 28, a shortstop, Aiden Miller, and a right-handed pitcher, Andrew Painter. So that'll be something. Those are guys that contribute or could contribute. They didn't really add a lot, and they moved on from Nick Castellanos, which he's now a Padre.
For the best.
Yep. I don't think he started today. So
yeah, I mean, I'll sign him
big
on a
get by
minimum.
us.
I wonder if he drank beer in the dugout again.
Who knows? But yeah, that was our biggest off-season addition. We'll get to that later. That's just me complaining. But we have 2 more teams in the National League East.
Yes, the Marlins, whose 2026 record projection is 76-86. Their biggest off-season moves were signing Pete Fairbanks, and they also traded Edward Cabrera and Ryan Weathers, 2 pitchers away. And the biggest return piece from those trades was Owen Cassie in terms of like major league guys. You know, they got some minor leaguers back. I didn't sort through all of that. The rotation is headlined by Yuri Perez and Sandy Alcantara, who are both pretty good. The back end of the rotation is either younger guys or just like at this point inning eaters. Max Myers, my swing guy, he's looking to have his first full season as a starter after being the 3rd overall pick in I think 2020, maybe not, roughly 2020. He has a 5.29 career ERA, so I kind of feel like this is his last chance to like really prove that he can be a good starter. And then lineup wise, you have guys. Xavier Edwards is there. Kyle Stowers is a power bat. Christopher Morel's another pretty good power bat. It's just really not a good lineup overall, though. Up and down the line, I don't think this is going to be a good team. I don't think they really plan on being a good team. They didn't make moves in the offseason like they plan on being a good team, and that's kind of the Marlins' way. So,
and yet they probably won't be the worst team in their division.
Nope, because another team wants to be bad worse than they do.
Which I think their top prospects, 2 pitchers, Thomas White and Robbie Snelling, both top 40. But I don't have anything else on the Marlins, so we can go ahead and move on to the other team that wants to be bad in this division.
Yes, the Nationals, who went 66-96 last season and are projected to go 69-93 this season. They're really embracing the rebuild. The Marlins love to do this kind of half in, half out because they're always rebuilding. So, like, how does that really work? But in terms of Nationals, they signed Zach Littell and Miles Mikolas in the offseason really because they just needed a couple people to eat innings in the starting rotation. And they traded away Mackenzie Gore. The rotation, Cade Cavalli is the name I want to highlight. Hopefully his injuries are behind him and he can put together a full season. But like I said, like the rest of the rotation is just mainly like inning eaters. They need someone to pitch for them that's going to be able to pitch without giving up 8 runs every time he goes out. You know, just solid vets. The lineup, James Wood and C.J. Abrams are fun players. C.J. Abrams is also a pretty good defender. James Wood is a big-time power bat. But as a whole, the lineup isn't very good. And then my swing player is Dylan Cruz, who was a second overall pick. He got called up last season. Wasn't very good. He also played a little bit in 2024. Wasn't very good. There's rumors that like he's denying swing changes, like doesn't really want to adapt. He was not good this spring either. Like he didn't even make the opening day roster of a team that is trying to not be good.
Yeah.
So maybe, he can get something going down in the minors, get called up, and like actually produce at the MLB level. But time will tell.
Is this so? Who's drafted? This is year 3 for him. Okay, cool. I did not realize he was drafted that long ago. Things I have on them. Top prospect is number 13, shortstop Eli Willits. But that's all I have there. We can, if you're ready to go ahead and pick it. It's interesting. Yes. I believe this is the division that has the tightest 1-3, like odds wise. Plus 130 at the Mets, plus 170 from the Phillies, and plus 270 from the Braves. So this is expected to be maybe not the deepest division, but the top 3 is the deepest top 3.
Yeah, well, I think you also hope like none of these teams are going to blink. None of these teams are going to sell at the deadline. They would have to be really bad for one of these teams to sell on the deadline.
Yeah.
So it should be a really fun division race. I agree. I'm picking the Braves.
I'm
very within the realm of reason to pick the Braves, and they're my team, so I'm picking the Braves.
JP, I assume you also pick the Braves.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Braves. Los Bravos.
I think I'm gonna go Phillies. Like I said, I don't trust the Mets. Are y'all gonna pick the Dodgers? No. So I'm not either. Are you gonna pick the Padres? No, and I will not be either. I will be picking the Dodgers.
So there you go. You're not picking them either. You expect me to pick my team when you're not even gonna pick your team?
I expected you to pick your team.
No, you expect me to pick your team.
No, I don't expect you to pick my team.
And yet you're trying to get all high and mighty about it, so that doesn't make any sense.
Hater.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah.
If you're not going to pick your own team, how do I back you up on a decision that you didn't even make?
No, that's... Anyway, I'm going to go Phillies. I don't trust the Mets, like I said earlier. And then the Braves, injuries in their large quantities are concerning.
Yeah.
For me. So I will be going Phillies.
Cool.
And I'll go ahead and put it in the notes.
Yeah, I'm going to just keep us rolling here. NL Central, so hopefully Genovesen 003 is still in the chat because I know he's a Cubs fan. And I have good news for him because they are first up here. They went 92-70 last season, and they have the highest 2026 record projection in the NL Central at 83-79. For offseason moves, they lost Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers. No one else was getting him with the amount the Dodgers paid him. They signed Alex Bregman to kind of recoup for that, and then they also traded for Edward Cabrera to shore up the rotation. Speaking of the rotation, I'm not a very big fan. It's headlined by Matthew Boyd and Shoto Imanaga, who are fine. And then from there, there's like some okay pieces. We'll see how Justin Steele looks coming back from UCL. He's kind of one of my swing players. He should be back in about a month. Cade Horton had a pretty good rookie season last year. But some of his peripherals weren't great. It seemed like he overperformed, so we'll see if he regresses a little bit or if he can keep it up. I don't think it's like a horrible rotation, but like going through the teams and getting this rotation and being like, oh, well, Matthew Boyd is starting opening day, like that just doesn't inspire crazy confidence. And then lineup-wise, I think it's a really, really deep lineup. Like I think that's the best part about this lineup is how deep it is. Headlined by newly extended PCA. Hopefully, he's a bit more of the first-half player he was last year than the second-half player in terms of with his bat. Obviously, they brought in Bregman. Braves legend Dansby Swanson is still around. Nico Horner just got an extension like 30 minutes ago, so he's also
Fire.
newly extended. Seiya Suzuki and Michael Busch both had really, really good 2025 seasons with the bat. So hopefully they kind of keep that rolling into this season. So I think it's a pretty good lineup. I definitely feel better about the lineup than I do the rotation. But y'all's thoughts on this team? Do you have any prospects?
Nope, no prospects.
Yeah, rare to call up.
I did not write down any prospects because it just wasn't.
Yeah, I feel like they just kind of had a wave get called up, so that does kind of feel like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like even like Moises Ballesteros, I think, is a younger guy. So
How did they get Bregman? I thought he was under contract still with the Red Sox. Or is he a free agent?
I think he was a free agent.
Okay.
Maybe he opted out or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah. Anything you want to add, Janovison, in the chat?
He said
Anything
Horton
we
will
should
be
know?
good. Hopefully, runner up for Rookie of the Year.
Got beat out by shout out Drake Baldwin.
Play Matt Shaw. He says, which he's listed on this lineup. Let's see. Did he play today?
He said I'm a seer, so he must
have played today and played well.
Well, because Seiya didn't play because he's hurt.
Yeah. Also, he probably didn't play well given how badly they got beat.
But see, this is what I was talking about, Creed. It's like just because Matt Shaw kind of lost his spot, he's a utility guy, so he's just going to end up getting a lot of starts this season, just because different guys are going to miss time with different random injuries.
Matt Shaw did play for today. He went over 3 and got pinch hit for.
Tough.
So
not a great start to the season.
No, not at all. Which it's funny that we're doing our preview on day one. It was not intentional. I would wish we could have gotten it out before. But
it's funny to make meme like overreactions to opening day.
Yeah, like who was it that started the day 2 for? No, it was Adley Rutschman was 2 for 4.
Oh yeah, that as well.
Batting 500. So bounce back years confirmed because he's batting 500 and we can see the future. He played outfield. Where would he rather he play?
Well, I think he played third base a lot last season, and they brought in Bregman.
He'd rather.
But Bregman's getting older, so I bet Bregman will get some time off. Bregman also probably will pull a hammy or something at some point this season.
Everybody does. We've all been there.
Maybe his wife is pregnant. He'll get some paternity leave. Who knows?
Maybe. Anything else on the Cubs?
I'm good.
Cool. We can move on.
I do think it's a good team, though.
Who do you have as the next best team?
The Pirates.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
The Pirates, who went 71-91 last season, are projected to go 82-80 this season. Why? Well, I'm not really sure, but we can walk through their offseason moves. They signed a couple power bats in Marcell Ozuna and Ryan O'Hearn, and they also traded for Brandon Lau and Jake Mangum, who talking about...
it's Lau, not Low?
I think it is probably low. It's definitely low.
Okay.
Speaking of opening day overreactions, Brandon Lowe started the game with 2 home runs.
Really?
So, you basically just traded for one of the best hitters in baseball.
That's crazy. But you have one of the worst fielders in baseball playing center field.
Yeah, also talking about overreactions, Paul Skeens has a
62.5
2.5 ERA
like
this season. But
Lowe's on pace for 324 home runs. So
yeah,
that is big.
There's a give and take here.
Yeah. There always is.
Those were their biggest offseason moves. Paul Skeens headlines the rotation.
I mean, with a 62.5 ERA, you just got to send him down to the minors and figure that out.
Yeah, probably.
You don't have to pitch him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if Brandon Lowe's going to hit 324 home runs, you should be good.
True. You maybe don't. Yeah. Yeah, we just got to get more people on base for Brandon Lowe.
Yeah. In all seriousness, they're going to have Paul Skeens, and he's going to be fantastic. They just need the rest of the pitching staff behind that to pitch well.
Yeah, Mitch Keller, I think, is a solid number 2. Bubba Chandler and Braxton Ashcraft, I believe, are both younger guys. I definitely know Bubba Chandler's a younger guy.
Yeah,
Bubba Chandler is
Clemson legend.
I was about to say, he's got to be from the South.
He is. He signed to be a quarterback, but then decided he wanted to go to the MLB draft because he's a pitcher, too.
So did he play at Clemson, or he just go to high school?
He just went straight out of high school to MLB. But Dabo signed him. He was part of a recruiting class.
That's
cool.
Sick. I'm a little worried about the back end of that rotation. Now, it is nice you get to trot Paul Skeens out there every 5th day.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, it will go better than it did today. You also, maybe give him some better defensive help.
Oh, yeah.
But the lineup is just I'm not the biggest fan. You have Brian Reynolds and O'Neal Cruz in that lineup. Marcell Ozuna, how much does he give you at his age? Same with Ryan O'Hearn. I mean, if Brandon Lowe's going to hit like that, I mean, he's a big addition regardless, right? He's not going to, hit 2 home runs every game, duh.
Yeah.
But, like, that is maybe a big boost. But, like, the bottom of this lineup, Henry Davis is a younger catcher who hit well last season. Nick Gonzalez, I think, was drafted, like, 5th overall or something.
Skeens has a 67.5 ERA, excuse me, not 62. It's even worse.
Yeah, it's even worse. I don't think the lineup is. I don't know. I just see a lot of mid, and that seems mean to say. And I guess mid is 82 and 80. Like that's pretty mid.
It's almost the definition of mid.
And yeah, I don't know. And it does mention, or we should mention. I'm sure you have it about Connor Griffin.
I do. Number one prospect in baseball. Shortstop, Mississippi. Made, by the way, went to Jackson Prep.
Ridgeland, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then he probably went to Jackson Prep.
He went to Jackson Prep. I don't know.
Well, you can go to Jackson Prep, live wherever.
Yeah, true. Private school, that's how that works. But anyway, they also have the number 11 prospect, Bubba Chandler, who you already listed.
Yeah.
Right-handed pitcher. And then with Seth Hernandez, is he also listed as a starter currently? He's not. So he's the number 29 prospect, another pitcher, which they're another lineup. All righties, all right-handers.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not as rare as I thought, but it still is just like feels odd to not have a single left-hander in a sport where it's like that's kind of you want to have guys who pitch both ways, or not both ways, but you want to have different right and left. Anyway, the thing I've seen about Connor Griffin is you talked about how if you wait till after, I think you said April to activate him,
I believe this.
You can buy an extra
6 weeks.
Yeah, you get an extra year on their contract. That's what I've heard people theorizing is what the Pirates are going to do.
Yeah, probably. He also didn't hit great this spring, so like, also no reason he didn't force their hand, if that makes sense. Then you get the extra year.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just lower on some of the younger guys than the projection is. But I was a little surprised to see them projected to be an above 500 ball club.
Yeah, I'm also just very low on O'Neal Cruz after watching him play today and watching him last season. He was not a good fielder at all last year. And I feel like as someone who I watch a lot of Padres baseball games, as many as I can, but I don't watch a whole lot of other teams. I'm on Twitter a lot, so I see a lot of highlights and lowlights. But I feel like he wasn't that bad as shortstop, and maybe I'm just very, very mistaken there.
I don't think he was very good at shortstop.
Okay.
I think he was good. He had a big arm and was good at making impressive plays.
Yeah, because I feel like he was one of the guys that threw 105 miles an hour, like a put out.
But in terms of range and just
okay,
making the routine plays, not always there.
Yeah, so I don't get why he's in center field. It feels like there's got to be some other solution. Teach him how to stand still and put him at first base.
I don't love any of their options in center field is the problem. Yeah. And he is fast, so he can cover the ground if he can make the right read off the bat.
That is his current issue.
Third in this division is the Brewers, who went 97 and 65 last season, and their projection for this season is tied with the Pirates at 82 and 80. So they're right there together. They traded away Freddie Peralta in the offseason, re-signed longtime starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff, and they also traded away Isaac Collins and Caleb Durbin. The rotation is headlined by longtime starter Brandon Woodruff, though I guess not even because Jacob Mizorowski started their game today. He was a rookie last season and started off the season great, even despite limited innings. He was so good he made the All-Star game, and then just struggled with command, was really bad down the stretch. I think he ended up with a 4+ ERA. So that's my swing guy, is if he can return to elite status, that would be huge for their rotation. And they're just another team that no matter who's in their rotation, they just seem to piece it together and make stuff happen. I'm sure Chad Patrick will have a 3.2 ERA and pitch 200 innings and be like, all right, bro, how does that happen? And then in terms of the lineup, it's William Contreras. I miss him on the Braves.
Is he related to Wilson Contreras?
He is. They're brothers.
That's what I figured.
Jackson Chourio is a big piece of this lineup, but he did just break his hand, so he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks, which is tough. Andrew Vaughn had a career resurgence after being horrible with the White Sox the second half of last year. We're going to see if that's real. Bryce Terang is going to lead off, it seems. Christian Yelich is still there, DHing now apparently. He's not MVP form, but he's still a quality hitter. Thoughts on this team?
Excuse me. Yeah, for the Brewers, let's see. They have a couple top prospects. The number 3 prospect on a shortstop, a middle infielder, Jesus Made, is how I think you would say that name.
Jesus made.
It is definitely not Jesus
It
Made.
could be.
It is not Jesus Made. And then number 26, another infielder, Luis Pena. Pena. You say it's like a
Yeah,
A.
it's
Pena. So those are 2 guys to keep your eye on and guys they could see playing time. But yeah, Jake Bauers, not to be confused with Mississippi State legend Jack Bauer.
Sure.
Sorry, I literally did a double take. Like, why did he have the same name? But he does not. I don't have a whole lot to say on this team. Like I've already said it. Actually, excuse me. No, I'm looking at the wrong. Yes, I've don't have a whole lot to say. They lost Freddie Peralta, who I believe was a good pitcher.
Great.
Ace.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ace. So, have to be. They have to have made up for him in the aggregate, right? You have to be.
We're gonna find out if they did or not.
Yeah, you have to have the guys to replace that.
Sure.
But I just don't feel as good about this team as I do about the Cubs, and I don't like the upside of this team as much as I do like the Pirates. So
Yeah.
that's where a hint as to where I will be going when I pick
Sure,
this division.
In the 4th spot, it's the Reds, who went 83-79 last year, and their 2026 projection is 78-84. A couple offseason moves I want to highlight. They signed Emilio Pagan to help in the bullpen, and then Eugenio Suarez is back in a Reds jersey, where he, I believe, began his journey as an MLB player. The rotation has a lot of fun arms. Nick Lodolo, Chase Burns. If you're a college baseball guy, you'll definitely recognize that name. Rhett Lauder is another name that you probably
Where did
recognize
Chase
if
Burns
you're
play?
Tennessee.
Is he the guy that threw 105?
No.
Okay.
He's the guy that was like a psycho, though.
Okay.
Rhett Lauder is another name you should recognize if you're a big college baseball guy. Played at Wake Forest. Brady Singer is there. Played at Florida. Just rattling off all the hits. And then there's also Hunter Green, but Hunter Green has bone spurs in his right elbow, had to get surgery, so he will miss at least half the season.
It's always throwing elbow.
On the 60-day IL. I wonder why.
Why
he had
couldn't
bone
the human
spurs
body
in
is not designed to do what.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, why couldn't he get the bone spurs on left elbow and then just kind of play through it?
Yeah, maybe you should start throwing left-handed now.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Give the right arm a break. I think the rotation will be okay. They do play in a very hitter-friendly ballpark, which is tough for that group. And then for the lineup, Ellie De La Cruz is a star of it. Obviously, you brought back Suarez. Sal Stewart had a good debut season. There's a couple of other solid hitters, but I don't think it's anything special.
Yeah. You also brought in J.J. Bleday, and that's a familiar name. Is that a college name?
Yeah, he's my swing player.
Okay.
Because I think he was a top 5 draft pick. Got drafted by the Marlins, never really panned out. They gave him a 1-year, $1.4 million deal. Doesn't look like he's going to start. But yeah, just maybe he can turn it around. I think at this point it's probably a lost cause. But
he played for drafted by the Padres.
Was he? Oh, he's drafted by
Oh,
the
excuse me. That was out of high school. Apologies. I forgot that it was going to list. Played at Vanderbilt, yep, and then
Yeah.
drafted 4th overall. And so I forgot that Pro Baseball Reference was going to list both of his draft picks.
Yeah.
But yeah, drafted 4th overall out of Vanderbilt by the Marlins. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what notes I had on them. I turned my iPad off because I'm stupid.
Good stuff.
Yep. Big additions, like I said, J.J. Bleday, Dane Myers, I also have listed as an addition they made in the offseason. So a couple outfielders. Losses, Zach Little, a pitcher. One of their top prospects is Sal Stewart, who you already spoke about. He's the number 22 ranked prospect, so he will ideally see playing time. He's already listed on the starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he played some last year. So
Yeah.
I think he's pretty much kind of locked in that spot.
Yep.
Cool. The last team in the NL Central is the Cardinals, who went 78-84 last season, and their 2026 projection is 75-87. I expect them to finish below that mark because all signs point to them entering a rebuild or at least some sort of a reset.
Yeah.
For example, they signed Dusty May and Ryan Stanek. Dusty May will slot into the rotation. Ryan Stanek, I believe, will factor into the bullpen. But they traded away Wilson Contreras, Sonny Gray, Brendan Donovan. They also traded away Nolan Arenado to the Diamondbacks. Like a lot of their pieces, kind of more key pieces. Now you could argue, well, the key pieces obviously weren't getting the job done. So, maybe they aren't going to take that big of a drop off losing them. But I think, even if they weren't getting the pieces done, those pieces weren't getting the job done, and it is time to move on. It's going to take them a while to replace them with, the pieces that could potentially actually lead the Cardinals back to the playoffs and back to NLCSs and stuff like that. The rotation, Matthew Liberatore was the opening day starter. His career ERA is 4.63.
Who is this?
Sorry. Matthew Liberatore. Opening day starter. His career ERA, like I said, is 4.63. So, that's just not what you want out of your opening day starter.
No.
Dustin May, kind of fall from grace with some injuries. Michael McGreevy will get some starts. I don't think this is a good rotation at all. And then lineup-wise, Alec Burleson's really good. They're calling up top prospect J.J. Weatherholt. He made the team, and he should get some good playing time. Lars Nootbaar is an all-time name out in the outfield. Ivan Herrera is pretty good. But I just think it's a pretty suspect lineup, just like the rotation. And I think they're fine with that.
Yeah. A couple notes that I have. You already talked about how the rebuild has started. Another name, I don't think you mentioned Herangelo Sencha. They bring him in. We talked about him earlier when we talked about the Mariners and how they moved him. He was a switch pitcher, but now Jack said that he's going to one hand. I don't know which hand. Righty. Okay, thank you. But he's a young guy, which it kind of fits into the rebuild timeline better than some of the guys that they shipped off. And then they've also got some really good prospects still in the minors. J.J. Weatherholt is a number 5 prospect. He is a shortstop. And then they've got Liam Doyle, who that is a name, a very big college name, Tennessee pitcher. Before that, he was an Ole Miss pitcher. And I think, was he the guy that Hyzak homered off of in the SEC tournament? Okay. I'm not positive. I think that State fans, might have led themselves to just kind of think that he was, but I'm not positive. Oh, no, I think he was. Anyway, so that's a Mississippi State legend right there. But Liam Doyle is the number 34 ranked prospect, left-handed pitcher, and then Rainiel Rodriguez, the number 37 prospect, is a catcher. So they made some as far as rebuilds go, it kind of seems like they dove right in.
As you should.
Which I love that from them to kind of be like, well, we're not just gonna let this play out. We're gonna move our stars while we can still get assets for them. So in 2 or 3 years, this team could be good. Like if these pieces work out, the pieces they brought in work out, this could be a good team. So that's all I have to say there. Do you want to go ahead and pick it?
Yeah, I got the Cubs winning this division. Shout out Creed.
Yeah, I will also be picking the Cubs. Only Major League game I've ever been to. Cubs game.
Oh, against?
I can't tell you. I don't know who it was. This was in 2014, 2015. So
was it in Chicago?
Yes, it was. It was. I could probably go back and find a photo of it. But I went. Me and my family went. Took a trip up there. So
who you got, JP?
Cubs for me, Cubs for Jack, and for JP.
I'm going to pick the Pirates for the second year in a row.
There it is. I was wondering if that was coming. He's going to ride or die again. You're not worried about Paul Skeen's 67?
Yeah, can you walk us through the thought process there?
Damn, I just had the quote. Basically, he said today that there's some good things to look at what happened today. Like there's not a lot of hard contact. The on-base percentage for balls in play is something that's going to go down throughout the season. That's kind of his direct quote of, him trying not to say.
Good mindset.
My boys are selling my bread.
Well, he did give up a ground ball back to him, so maybe field your position better as well. I didn't see it. It could have been an impossible swinging bunt.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys that's uber competitive and very, very focused. So I expect him to take this and rebound. Like
He'll
if
be
he,
fine.
I think if he hadn't played in the World Baseball Classic, he would have had a good opening day. But because of how much he felt like he dedicated towards
If he has a bad start to the season, teams will never be letting anyone pitch in the World Baseball Classic again.
Yeah.
On to the NL West.
On to the NL West, the dumbest division in baseball.
We'll start with the Dodgers. Obviously, they're going to have the highest projection at 95 and 67 after
Yep.
going 93 and 69 last season. I'm not going to talk a ton about this team. I think it's pretty straightforward. They signed Kyle Tucker. They signed Edwin Diaz to be their closer. They brought back Miguel Rojas. The rotation is great. It's headlined by Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani also headlines the lineup, along with guys like the newly signed Kyle Tucker, Braves legend Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy. It's just a super deep lineup. Will Smith is great. Teoscar Hernandez is an above-average hitter. Andy Pages is an above-average hitter.
Miguel Rojas is also above average, I feel like. Or am I just making that up?
Maybe around average.
Yeah.
He's like the heart and soul guy, What more do you want? My swing factor for this team is pitching health. It has been a bit of an issue in recent years,
huge
but
issue.
also they're so deep that they can really, stomach a couple pitching losses and still be just fine.
Yeah.
Interesting. They have Roki listed as a starter. He's been horrible. Interesting. Okay. Let me see how that works out. There's a reason this team is the highest projected win total. I would hope so with the amount of money that's been poured into this team.
Yep.
My take is they're bad for baseball. People would disagree. They would say all the other 29 teams are bad for baseball. We'll see. Anything you want to add about the Dodgers, either of y'all?
They've got a lot of minor league prospects as well. What?
It's a scam.
What is?
They get like this prospect boost because of the Dodgers.
Okay.
Like a lot of the times, their prospects actually don't really pan out, and I'm convinced that.
And then they just go and buy another player.
Because the Dodgers are considered like the smartest organization, so obviously the smartest organization
Has the best.
surely their
prospects.
best prospects are actually going to be the best.
Yeah.
And then since they have these high billing, then they can ship them off to get good players.
Mhm.
It's
Well, 3 outfielders, all really good. Eduardo Quintero, number 30. Zahir Hope, number 27, and Josu DePaula,
Yeah.
number 15.
sorry
So-
guys, there's no room for you on the roster.
There really is not.
Good luck
Um,
ever playing.
Yeah. So let's move on. I don't want to talk about the Dodgers anymore.
Next is the Diamondbacks, who went 80 and 82 last season.
Really?
And their 2026 projection is 81 and 81, according to Steamer. Do you have them down
Interesting.
at 4?
They're at the 4th.
Yeah.
Vegas has them as the 4th.
So the Giants are also projected to go 81 and 81, and the Padres are projected to go 80 and 82.
Okay,
So it's like
that, yeah.
they're all right there.
Padres are plus 950, Giants are plus 1700, and Diamondbacks are plus 2200.
Gotcha.
I can't wait to hear the Rockies' expected record.
So in the offseason, the Diamondbacks traded for Nolan Arenado, brought back Merrill Kelly, and then signed Mike Soroka for pitching depth, and they also brought back Zach Gallen, and they signed former Padre Luis Arias for the lineup.
Yep.
The rotation is headlined by Merrill Kelly, and I guess Zach Gallen, though they're really hoping for a bounce back from Zach Gallen. He kind of got a bit of a prove-it deal, I would argue. Did Merrill Kelly not re-sign? I feel like I just didn't see him on the roster pulled up. I'll
I'm
keep
trying
looking.
to get it pulled up, but it's not working.
I like Mike Soroka a lot. He's a former Brave. He's had really rotten injury luck, so I'm hoping he can turn it around. But can you scroll down to the...
To the rotation. There you go.
Yeah, Merrill Kelly is just...
Will be ready to join the starting 5 sometime after Arizona.
That's why. So he will be back. Okay, cool,
Yep.
cool. Corbin Burns hopefully comes back. Yeah, from Tommy Johns. I got to trust myself more, is honestly what that comes down to.
Yep.
Trust my notes. I think it's a fine rotation. Nothing special. But, like, there's good depth. There's good intrigue. If a couple of things break the right way, like Zach Gallen, returning a little bit to form. Maybe Mike Soroka stays healthy. Hopefully the guys coming back from injury pitch well. You have a solid rotation. And then the lineup, headlined by guys like Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte. It's a good group. Geraldo Perdomo, Gabriel Moreno, other good hitters. Nolan Arenado's getting a little older.
Yeah.
But like he's still pretty good. I like Pavin Smith at the DH spot a good bit. It's pretty deep. They have a couple big names, some good speed in that lineup. I think it's a pretty good team. I see why they're around 500. It sucks they're in the Dodgers division and they're kind of in this race for second, but it should be. I mean, what a race for second it's shaping up to be.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I feel like this division has the past couple years had a pretty good race for second, often involving the Padres, and I believe the Diamondbacks have been pretty active in that as well.
Yeah, the Giants as well. I mean, these three teams that are yet again in this race have been in the race.
Yeah. They lost outfielder Jake McCarthy, which I only say because his middle name might be Jones, which would mean his name is J.J. McCarthy.
Shout out 9.
Yep, only reason I mentioned that. Their top prospect is ranked number 59, Ryan Waldschmidt, an outfielder. But, yeah, I think that this is just a race for second. So,
I mean, if you win second in this division, you're
Correct.
almost definitely going to the playoffs.
Right.
So,
I'm not trying to, like, belittle it. I'm just like,
no, I mean,
I
you're
don't
not
know.
wrong.
I don't really have a whole lot else
I called
to
it the
say.
exact same thing. So.
Yeah. Don't have a whole lot else to say about this team.
Cool. Well, let's move on to the Giants then, who went 81-81 last year.
Wait, you said the Diamondbacks brought in Arise? I have the Giants having brought in Arise.
Yes, you are right. The Giants are the team that brought in Arise. I have it written down
Yep.
for the wrong team. So good
Apologies
catch.
that I just corrected that, but
No, I'm glad. Better late than never.
I can hear the hate comments now.
Yeah, it's
pouring
too
in,
late.
Pouring in. We just lost 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, I wish we had 1 million to lose in the first place. The Giants went 81-81 last season,
Mhm.
and are projected to go 81-81 this season. They brought in Luis Arias. They brought in Harrison Bader. They brought in Adrian Hauser to give some rotation depth.
Hauser. That's a fire name. Hauser.
I know most for projectile vomiting on the mound during a start.
That's tough.
So the rotation is headlined by Logan Webb, who was not good last night, but is a very good pitcher, a true ace. Behind him, it's a little suspect. Maybe Robbie Ray can kind of recapture some of his old magic, but I think in a large part it's a lot of solid inning eaters. But like no one else of that group really scares me that much. Like
Yeah.
I don't think they have a very good number 2, but it is fairly deep. Maybe Robbie Ray does return to form. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I think his best days are behind him. Lineup wise, headlined Matt Chapman is there. Rafael Devers post trade last season is still there. Willie Adames is another good hitter, but also has pretty good depth with guys like Harrison Bader, Young Ho Lee. Heliot Ramos. I don't know why I said Ramos. Patrick Bailey. I think it's a very good lineup. I think it's a very deep lineup. I think it's balanced. Hopefully Rafael Devers, I feel like he was slightly disappointing last season for the Giants. Hopefully he goes back to being like a legit elite bat. That'd be huge for them.
Did Arise play for the Braves?
No.
Okay. Why is it you don't like him?
He just he's not a good defender for one thing.
Okay. Which is the thing I was actually going to ask you about, which is why I asked if he played for the Braves. He played first base for the Padres last year and DH'd as well. So seeing him at second surprised me.
I think he initially started as a second baseman, and that maybe he can play. But I don't think he's a very good fielder. He intentionally swings slow to not strike out for the sacrifice of power, which is just stupid.
If he gets on base a lot, it works.
Then how come his WAR is always sitting right around 1? It's not as valuable. I'd rather him swing harder, make less contact, hit some home runs, hit some doubles. I mean, he hit multiple home runs in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
And it's you're telling me you're just...
Because he cared.
I guess, yeah, he just doesn't like the Padres.
I guess not. I liked him. I liked when he was on the Padres. I personally liked the get on base a lot approach. I mean, maybe analytically it's not as effective and doesn't provide you as many wins above replacement, but I like it when you're on base and then my power hitters like Fernando Tatis and Manny Machado come up to bat. I like that.
I mean, ideally you just put enough power hitters on the team and we're just going to run into a bunch of home runs.
True.
Just the Braves did in 2020.
Infinite money glitch.
I do get what you're saying. Yeah. Ideally, my contact hitters are fast and also play good defense. Not.
Which maybe he will this year. If
Maybe.
they're putting him at second,
Maybe. Well, time will tell.
they don't expect him to be bad at second base. I would hate to have a team make the decision of this guy's going to be bad, but we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he is I don't like him. I don't think he, is the most valuable player, but he is definitely still like an MLB player, has a spot in his starting lineup. I'm not saying that. But, like, there's a reason the year he hit, like, 400, 420.
Yeah.
He didn't, like, get a ton of money after.
Yeah.
Because it's not what teams want right now.
And his OPS is probably what, like?
I don't know. I do wonder how much he walks. I surely he walks a good bit, I would hope. But, yeah. Rotation, Logan Webb, potentially Robbie Ray, depending on how you feel about him. It's all right, but the lineup is definitely where this team, I think, will shine. Anything else on them? If not, we'll get to your Padres.
Best prospect is number 25, a first baseman, Bryce Eldridge.
Cool.
Who that's a college name.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I know that from.
This is my favorite. This has been my favorite part of the preview as a college guy is like hearing these names and thinking about not knowing exactly where they're from, but being like, oh, I know that guy. That's a name that I know. Let's see. He made his MLB debut last year. Played for, come on. Alabama.
Oh.
Wait, committed to play.
Did he get drafted out of high school?
He got drafted out of
I
high
just know
school.
the name from some prospect list or something.
Yeah. That name feels so much more familiar.
I mean, there's a Bryce Elder on the Braves who's a pitcher.
Man, that
And
name
it's
feels
bad.
so much more familiar. I
And
don't
is a
know.
Longhorn, so that's like a...
That's tough for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we kind of get to, like, I would argue, like, the dregs of this division, starting at 4. I'm just kidding.
Definitely bottom half.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, it's the Padres who won 90 games last year, but are projected to go 80 and 82 this season. They brought back Michael King in the offseason and got Castellanos on a minimum deal. Not a ton of big moves. I mean, they let Arias go.
Yep.
Y'all's payroll gotta be pretty high already, and like you don't have tons of prospects anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it's just kind of some housekeeping stuff mainly off season. I do like the rotation though. Michael King, Nick Pivetta, Joe Musgrove is hurt right now, but I do like him. Yu Darvish is hurt right now.
Yep.
Born on the same day as me, by the way.
Yu Darvish?
Not the same like day, but the
Same
same
day of the year.
Yes, same day of the year. So when everyone's healthy, I think it's a pretty good rotation. Right now, they're going to need to tread water till some guys get back. Hopefully they can do that. Maybe, Walker Buehler as a signing can prove to be a quality inning eater. That would help. But I think as solid to good as the rotation is, the lineup is the fun part of this team and the good part of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Tatis, Machado, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Jackson Merrill had a great season last year.
Yep.
Ramon Laureano
Which I
had
believe
his best.
was that technically his rookie season or was the year before his rookie season?
I don't know.
It all kind of runs together.
He's younger though.
He is younger.
Gavin Sheets, Ramon Laureano had a breakout offensive year last season.
Yeah.
After and also still plays great defense.
Cronenworth has been so fun. He's moved over from first base to second base. It's also just great because whenever he hits a home run, they call it the Crone Zone.
Yeah.
So home runs are just elite because he's got a fire name for it.
100. Yeah.
I love the Crone Zone I love the announcers for that. But anyway, I'm sad. We lost, I would say 4 guys. I'm kind of sad we lost. Dylan Cease, sad to lose him.
Loss from the rotation.
Robert Suarez, another loss for the rotation.
Thanks, the Braves. Welcome him to the team.
Please don't let him get hurt. Give him at least 2 months.
Isn't he a reliever?
Is he?
Yeah.
I think so. Give him at least 2 months before you hurt him.
Okay. Our relievers typically have better luck.
That's good. I was sad to lose Luis Ariz, our first baseman, who I liked the way he played, but also we had Gavin Sheets on the team, and he's played well. And then Ryan O'Hearn was our DH, and I thought he played well. He was more of, I think, a late-season breakout, and he's also older, I believe. So I think that was kind of a fun story there.
Who? Sorry.
Ryan O'Hearn. I believe he was older. Am I making that up?
I think so, yeah.
We had somebody older on the roster who had, not like a breakout season, but, had a couple, big hits down the back end of the season.
It probably was him because he came from the Orioles, and he's been around. I think he spent time with the Rockies before. He's 32, so you're 100% right.
That is definitely who it was then. But I do like the rest of this lineup. I do still feel like sometimes it just doesn't live up to the money, because the money that we have in Tatis, Bogarts, Machado, and Merrill is crazy. I mean, that's where the majority of our money is.
Yeah.
We just gave Merrill I think a 10-year contract or something.
Sure. I do think some of those guys like are streaky hitters, and so that really
Yeah.
accentuates the problem of like when they're cold, you really
Yep.
feel it.
Exactly.
But then like when Tatis is on one of his heaters, you
Mhm.
also really feel that.
And
it's
you're
just-
also going to get a Tatis slide where he goes and
Yeah.
it's just such a fun team. That's the reason I'm a Padres fan. I'll actually tell that quick story while we're talking about the Padres. The reason I'm a Padres fan, living in the great state of Mississippi, a mere several thousand miles away from San Diego, California. Several years ago, when I was an intern for an engineering company, which I did not finish my college degree in engineering, I switched majors. But while I was doing that, I did a lot of valuable work and sat at my desk and had nothing to do, so I would just watch baseball highlights. And that was the summer of 22, which was right before Tatis's wrist injury and drug scandal.
Yes.
So he was young, he was fun, like
He was innocent.
and the YouTube algorithm just kept pushing me like the craziest plays of 2021. I guess it would have been the 2021 season. It was like Tatis and the shortstop where he like double jumps and like catches a line drive that you shouldn't be able to catch, that goes right over his head, and he like jumps and then still extends like an extra like 18 inches and gets it. And so I was like, this guy is awesome. I'm going to be a Padres fan. And then that postseason, I believe we played the Braves. And our boy Chomps was like, I made a bet with him. I was like, if we beat, I think we played whoever we played in the wild card. I said, if we win this game, I'll buy a Tatis jersey. We won the wild card series, I believe. And so I bought a Tatis jersey. And now I'm a Padres fan. And it's fun. It's frustrating because we're in a division with the Dodgers, so it sucks. But man, sometimes when we beat the Dodgers, like that's the thing is, I will say there, it has its ups and
The
downs.
wins feel more satisfying.
When you are in a division with the Dodgers, beating them, literally, I could feel like I could run through a brick wall whenever we beat them.
Sure.
But anyway,
Still crazy you live in Braves country and didn't just choose the Braves. Like that's a layup.
They were too good.
Yeah, but you're in Braves country.
They were.
No one's gonna fault you.
Yeah, I know, but I just didn't have any, and also like I didn't. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. Braves just weren't for me.
I guess not.
What can I say?
Enjoy
I'm
a division with the Dodgers.
Yeah. So
Now we can actually get to the dregs of this division, unless you want to say other things about your
no,
Padres.
I'm excited. I might pick them to win the division. Unlikely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just feel like they don't have the consistency the Dodgers do. So while I could very much see them going on a run in the postseason, I don't know if they've got the 162 game wire-to-wire performance in them to beat the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are just going to go, they're going to win 100 games. And that's going to be hard for the...
No, they didn't win 100 games last year.
Yeah, but they got better.
Yeah, true.
So
Baseball can be weird. They're going to coach to the regular season probably.
Yeah, they are.
But
And
they're going to win the division.
I feel
Almost
like
definitely.
I'd rather the Padres just finish second in the division and then get hot in the playoffs, because I feel like if we win the division, we are not going to have anything left in the tank for playoffs.
Fair. Now we get to the actual dregs of the division. The Rockies, who went 43-119 last season.
Hold up, let me guess. I was going to say their projected win total is under 50. Is it?
No.
Okay. I'm hammering the under then.
More conservative projection goes both ways.
Right.
They're projected 64-98. Their off-season moves, the biggest ones I could find, they signed Jose Quintana and Michael Lorenzen, basically to just throw innings. For the rotation, Kyle Freeland's still around, not very good anymore, and I have, this rotation is horrid written below his name.
That's tough.
Because it's pretty bad. And then even worse, looking at Steamer projections, for the lineup, they have one player that projects to be an above-average hitter, and Hunter Goodman. His projected WRC plus is 103. So he's like only 3% above average,
That's tough.
according to that. By projections. But yeah, it's like you don't even have like, which I'm kind of glad because it'd really suck for like a star to be mired here. But you don't even have like a reason to turn on the games if you're a
No.
Rockies fan. This is bad. This is really bad. I also would take the under. And they want to be bad. And it's going to be really, it's just, it's yikes.
Yeah. Well,
Do
yeah,
you
I
have
don't
any top prospects?
they've got one. Ethan Holiday.
Yeah.
So the younger brother of Jackson Holiday, who we talked about earlier with the
Sure.
Orioles. Ranked number 24. He's a shortstop. Is Jackson an outfielder?
I think so, yes.
That's what I thought. Okay. I think Ethan was he also taken first overall 2 years ago?
I think a couple years ago, yes.
Okay. Well, That is the Rockies' best prospect, and they did not have any other prospects of note that I have in my notes.
Cool.
But we just talked about, Jake McCarthy, whose middle name might be Josh, which would mean his name is JJ McCarthy. This is where he ended up, so he stayed in the division. But yeah, not a lot of else to say about the Rockies. They are plus 30,000 to win the division. The next worst odds in the MLB are the Nationals at plus 8,000.
It's really bad. This is a horrible team.
Yeah, and I will say that is made worse by the fact they play in a division with the Dodgers. So I don't know.
Other good teams as well.
Yeah, so
They're
I don't
easily the worst
know
team.
if you put the Nationals in this division, they might also have comparable odds.
Yeah,
But
true.
it's a bad look for the Rockies, and they're tanking this year, and I don't know who they're tanking
Probably
for.
next couple years.
Yeah.
They just need better players.
But it doesn't matter because MLB is getting canceled after this year anyway. So
True.
they might as
Good
well just go all in this year. You think if they offer the Rockies, the Dodgers like $1 trillion, would they sell their whole team to them?
No.
That's tough. That's
$1
kind of.
trillion,
I feel like that's
$1
their.
trillion, yeah.
I feel like that's their only hope is just go buy the Dodgers roster. It'd probably still be bad.
Yeah, the amount of tax you'd have to pay. They probably have to declare bankruptcy. I'm picking the Dodgers to win this division.
Yeah. I'm also gonna go Dodgers. I would like to pick my Padres, but like I said, I just don't think we have the consistency to go wire to wire with the Dodgers. Now, when we get to postseason, that's an entirely different conversation because a 5-game series, 7-game series, 3-game series, I absolutely think we can hang with anybody. But I just don't know if we've got 162 games in us to win it. So I'll go Dodgers.
I'm going to take the Dodgers as well.
Good job, team. I think we all made a smart decision there.
I agree. JP, I'm not going to lie. I kind of wish I'd gone in with you on the Pirates.
Oh, I would change.
Nah, I'm going to stick with the Cubs.
Okay.
I already said it, and then I have to go back and edit the video, and it's just easier to leave it as is. So we all went Dodgers in the West.
I mean, you don't have to.
Sure. Well, that brings us to the end of a long MLB preview show. Yeah, hopefully those that requested it enjoy it, and anyone else that is listening, hope you all enjoyed it as well. And we'll be back for y'all on Monday
With the
March Madness preview and more
March
NFL
Madness
draft
review.
preview. Yes, review of the Sweet 16 and Elite 8,
Yeah.
and then either a mock draft or just some NFL draft content.
Yeah. Speaking of, we were kind of supposed to talk a little bit about March Madness tonight, but we did not get around to
Well,
that.
the game's already started.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Well, just the game going on now.
Texas, please lose. There's two going
Literally,
on.
please. They're screwing my model, bro. Texas is the reason I'm below 500. I'll say it.
Yeah.
But I think that is it.
Yeah, that's it. So, anything you want to add? Shout out Poland.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out Poland.
big win for Poland.
Did you know
We
Oliva,
we do have to pick our pennant winners, World Series champions.
Yes.
I'm really glad I looked at my notes. We got to pick pennant winners and World Series champions.
Well, obviously the Braves are winning the NL.
Okay.
And the Mariners are winning the AL. And I can't be too much of a homer, so the Mariners will beat the Braves.
I've got the Yankees and the Mets,
Wow, a Subway Series.
and I will take the New York Mets.
Okay, so Jack, you had the Wait, who did you have in the AL?
The Mariners.
Mariners.
Yes.
And then JP, you had.
The Yankees.
I am going to go. Let me go. Skim back through my notes real quick. I'm gonna make a read here. No, I'm not. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna make a read. Orioles. I'm gonna double down. I got the Orioles winning the AL East, and I'm gonna pick them to win the American League. So I'm gonna go Baltimore Orioles. Big mega read here.
Good luck. Wow, it's such a mega read that your computer bleeped it out. Put a whole bunch of X's.
Just refused to accept it. And then in the NL, Jack, you picked the Braves.
Yep.
JP, you did not pick the Braves, so you did not go homer mode.
He picked the Mets, which is kind of nasty, but
It's not what I hoped for. It's just what's going to happen.
yeah, sure.
I will go. Let's see. I feel like I gotta go with a team I picked to win their division.
You could just go Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
You're
Dodgers.
smart.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna double down on what I said about the Padres not winning their division and then
Okay.
pulling up in
Getting
the
hot.
playoffs,
Okay.
postseason. So postseason Padres. I'm actually copywriting that phrase as we speak. Postseason Padres are showing up, and then World Series winner prediction. Fire them off.
I mean, I have the Mariners winning.
The Mets.
Love that. Don't love that from JP, but you know
He doesn't love it either.
he's just doing what has to be done. And then Jack has the Mariners, so one AL team, one NL team.
The Matiners.
The Matiners.
Rapper Tusi has been
Which
added to LSU's roster.
We have one viewer still in the live chat. If you are in the live chat and are active, tell us who you think will win the pennants and then who will be the World Series champion. Unless it's JP. Is that just you watching on your computer over there, technically?
I wish it was.
Okay. Well, we'd have two viewers. And I'm going to go Padres again. I'm gonna triple down on my postseason Padres take, and we get hot. We're going to win like 83 games in the regular season and then tear through the playoffs, the
Yeah.
postseason.
Cool.
That'll be a fun graphic to make. But there,
Rapper Tusi has been added to LSU's roster as a freshman wide receiver.
cool.
That's fire.
Rapper Tusi.
I don't know why he left Syracuse.
Oh, I didn't know who that was or that he left Syracuse.
Well, I'll run back the closing again. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and yeah, we'll be back on Monday with more content for y'all. Peace.
See ya.